Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
When conventional wisdom said no one could make a hot dog longer than 6 inches, you dared to dream.
Dared to dream.
You knew the limitations of a regular-sized hot dog bun, and you ignored them.
Can't stop me now.
You made a 10-inch wiener, and people cheered.
Oh.
But you weren't satisfied. You said, wait, I think I can still give you 2 more inches.
Gotta want it.
So this bud's for you, Mr. Hot Dog Hero, because you gave every single one of us our fondest wish, a bigger wiener.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hey,
What's up?
what's up? Oh man, so it's been weeks. 3
It has
weeks,
been-
4 weeks. since we've done this?
Something like that. The last time we streamed was May 3rd.
Yeah. So, how you been?
I've been okay. How have you been is the question, man. You've been having some stuff go on.
It's been busy. It's been busy.
You
Yeah,
had some adventures.
a couple. Oh my god, yeah, wow. I went out to Los Angeles right after our last stream. I got to see the Universal Fan Fest nights. They're doing an experiment at Universal Studios Hollywood, kind of to mirror their off season in the fall where they do like their Halloween event. They wanted to come up with something for their spring dead time. So they packaged up some of their properties and did some walkthrough events for Star Trek and Back to the Future and stuff. So that was great. I have slides of my vacation if anyone's wondering. And
Of course we're wondering because we want to see that Star Trek deck.
yeah.
That's
Hey.
what I want to see.
And then came back from that, picked up, got a couple new arcades for the first time. And oh my God, like almost 3 years, 2 years at least, since I've actually added any arcades. I've added a couple pinballs, but
No.
yeah.
No.
Well, because before what was it? The most recent arcade that was in the basement here was Smash TV, and I got
that was like a year ago.
That was in 2023, man.
You got Smash TV in 2023?
I got it in like August of 2023. Yeah.
Wow, it has been that long.
Right.
Well, wait, you got Trilogy before that?
Trilogy was the first one. Well, Xenophobe was the first one I got. Then it was a big gap, but Trilogy was the first one I got in 2023.
Right. So you got Trilogy. You got almost all those in 2023.
I went hard really right away.
Maybe that's why it seems like it was only like a year ago.
Yeah, because it was Trilogy, then Atari Star Wars, then Street Fighter, then Smash TV, and what's up, Galaga guy?
Double G.
I love that guy.
Keyblade, Jose. What up, Jose? Hockeytown's the man too. Dude, that's it just seems like, I mean, I feel like when you got Trilogy, like we were there like 6 months later. Because I remember you fixing Trilogy like
Right.
vividly because you had to fix the force feedback on it with the belts.
Yeah, and then I had before that I had one of the colors was out. I had to send it off to Ken, the I Repair Sega Ken die.
Right.
And but no, that was actually Trilogy's coming up. It'll be soon. In a few weeks it'll be 2 years exactly that I've had Trilogy.
You're gonna have an anniversary date for the Trilogy.
Party.
You should go live playing Trilogy.
Yeah. Oh, let me show off. For those of you who
Mhm.
didn't catch on my YouTube shorts, pardon me, I've been doing TikToks and shorts more than produce videos because I'm lazy. But check it out over at Trilogy over here. I've moved it to the middle of the room, and it's pretty cool over here. I was trying to make room for my hang on. Ooh, look at this Sega Hang On. Woohoo!
I know.
And, to make room for Hang On, I had to move Trilogy from the bar over to the middle of the room, and then I was having a problem with all this light. Like it looked like that episode of Seinfeld where the big neon
The chicken
sign
shop.
outside of Kramer's
Yeah.
bar.
And the Kramer couldn't sleep.
Right.
Right.
So I just cut up the bottom of I opened up the access door under the fluorescence, and I put a switch on, so I can be like this or this.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
So,
That is so awesome.
because for those who don't know, the lights are all tied with the game. It's either everything or nothing. So
Right. So what did you do? Did you tie in the switch to the power line coming from it?
yeah, so I opened the bottom and I found the power lines that were feeding the fluorescent tubes, and I just cut the grounds going to them, put a switch on the ground. So
Gallagher guy wants to know how many cabs do you have?
how many cabs do I have now? Well, let's see here. We've got the shooter cab, then Street Fighter, Hang On, Smash TV, Xenophobe, Atari Star Wars Trilogy, and I've got my original modded Dragon's Lair over here in the corner. So what is that? That's 8 down here. Then upstairs, I've got a Miss Pac-Man cocktail table. That's 9. I've got a Tempest cocktail table. That's 10. And then I've got 4 pinball machines.
4 pinball machines.
4 pinball machines now. Yeah. Boy, it really adds up.
It
My
does.
hoarder.
Oh no! What you forgot one?
What?
The brand new one.
The brand new. Oh, arcade. Yes. Not a video arcade, but an arcade game. All the same. Yes. I have a brand new one. Okay. So this is fun. I'm jumping all over the place because but the one moving camera. Woo! It really does help when you have no friends to be cameraman. You can just like get a camera that's your friend. So
Yeah, that DGS you got is awesome.
so I've got a 2 years. Wait, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit! 3 years ago, I went out to this arcade in Frederick, Maryland, and it was a Shooters Pinball. So lots of arcade games, lots of pinball machines, but they had this kind of hockey table with these big paddles under glass, and it was huge, and it was a ton of fun. I swear to God, I had more fun playing that than almost anything else there. And I was like, I'd never really seen anything like it. It was kind of like foosball, not really though. And I was like, I don't even know what this is called. Fast forward a couple years later, and I keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace, and there was a bar in Baltimore that had one listed. It was basically, if you can come get it, first come, first serve. So this thing is actually called, now I know, it's called International Shootout. It's from the early 2000s, limited run. It's 92 inches long, 42 inches high, 33 inches wide, and 600 pounds.
92 inches long.
Yeah. So I got a couple shorts of the guys moving it, which is hysterical. So wait, let me see here.
Pull those up. Yeah, pull those up.
Let's see. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let me present.
92 inches long. We thank you, Mr. 12-inch hot dog wiener man.
Okay. All right. And present. Share screen. These poor guys.
They had no idea what they were in for.
They had no idea. I told them the dimensions, and then once they got there, what are we moving? Because their boss didn't tell them.
Oh.
And so the thing has tracks on it, and I wouldn't really call them wheels because they can't steer.
Right.
So we also had to get it up out of the lip there, right? And then let me see here. Then they brought a truck, and I said, it's gonna have to have a lift, like a lift gate on it. They did not believe me, and they sent a truck with a ramp.
Oh, wait.
And then when they got there, the ramp was rusted shut. So you seriously, check this out. Okay.
Nick's in the house.
Vic, you're just in time to see hilarity here. Wait, let me share the screen here. Shootout.
I just joined in at the right time.
Oh my God, your voice came out of nowhere.
Look at these poor bastards trying to deadlift 600 pounds with no ramp.
You said this to us, and it is wild.
What are they doing?
They're just trying to deadlift it and then they had to pull the truck up right up to the bar. So the truck's sticking out into the street during morning rush hour, and they're trying to deadlift 600 pounds up into that sucker.
Oh my God, are they just? Oh, dude, the bottom of that thing. Did you let them drag it?
Well, like I said, it's got diamond plate on the corners there.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So
So you were like, just fucking drag it then?
Yeah, and then like I said, on the bottom there's tracks where it can move. But yeah, let me get to the finished product here. I got it in my living room of all places. Do one more share screen. And this is International Shootout. There's 2 variations, hockey and soccer. I got the hockey one, and it's just these 2 large wooden paddles.
It is hockey, yes. I saw pictures. Like, why does it look like a hockey ring?
It's hockey, but it's like lacrosse.
It's well, it's yellowed. I think all that was supposed to be white originally.
Oh, who cares about that?
Definitely
Fuck
some
that.
of it.
We're looking at that. We're looking at the gameplay.
Yeah, the game it is a lot of fun. There's digital score, of course. It's you can set score, and then it's just two solenoids that will repeat.
It's so. I mean, doesn't the bottom of that light up? So aren't those
Yeah.
the fluorescent lights?
Yeah,
that
so it's
glow?
underlit.
Game
So
point,
there's
you're
a
right,
series of
that's it.
fluorescent tubes underneath of it. So when you start the game, and then you hear like crowds cheering in the background and an announcer calling out for shots.
So do you think that is a translit glass or plexi?
It looks like a plexi with an overlay over it. So it's
Oh, we can do that.
Technically, some of the win.
We can do that. We can cut plexi on the CNC to the side.
What kind of
we
and
can
the
put
only
a
thing is
graphic
where you see
over
the
the top
dotted
of it.
line is it's slightly bowed. So that way the ball is never.
It looks like
Yeah, the
Game
ball
point,
always
you're
fall
right,
back.
this is it.
Yeah, the ball's always going to fall back.
What kind of ball is inside of it, Brad? Do you know what it
It's
is?
a really hard rubber ball, like really dense. So it has a little
Interesting.
bounce to it, but
Jose, I'm not GI Joel.
That's a great comment.
I know, right?
Now, Joe, Brad, the truck that they bought, it was supposed to have like the actual lift gate that the whole
Well,
thing comes out and goes up.
yeah, the powered lift gate, which like the people that brought like Smash TV had that. It was such overkill. It was a giant box truck with a lift gate on it. And so that's what I was asking them to bring. It was the same company. I just called him up and it's like, listen, this guy, it's like first come gets it. So I need like who can, and they're like, we could be there tomorrow morning. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, you're gonna need a lift gate. And they showed up with just one of those like pull out ramps. And then the ramp wouldn't even pull out. It was rusted shut.
You're gonna need a lift gate, and they're like, no,
That's wild.
Nah. Yeah, you
morons.
should have seen them trying to get that in the front door and not like rip up my floor and stuff. It was
That's what I was worried about the whole entire time. I'm like, they didn't have dollies. So I'm like, did they like just like 3 feet and like time out?
when we got to my house, I put dollies under it. But even
Okay.
with the dollies, just the weight of the table on the dolly wheels were starting to dent my floor.
Ooh,
Oh shit.
Yeah, because this thing's 600 pounds.
That's insane.
it's never going in the basement.
No.
No, it's never going in the basement.
Yeah, well, it was such a last minute thing where it was like, I'm going to get it and then figure out. Like, I have 3 options. And I was telling you guys in the chat, I was telling the gang,
right.
listen, it can go right inside the front door. It can go against the wall in the living room, or it can go in the garage.
We
Yeah,
were
and I-
rearranging Brad's house in our little group.
Yeah, I was giving them like, quick, I have like 5 minutes to decide.
I joined late, but this is an amazing backdrop you got, Brad. This is interesting. We're covering the door.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck the door.
This is very interesting right now.
Ignore me, my
Brad's like, I'm just gonna flex.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Joel that I was already working. I got the arcade buzz, guys. Again, I got the buzz. I got the.
There you go.
I was working on like backlog projects again. So I had Smash TV out, and I also had Street Fighter out working on them. And then so for the stream, I'm like, screw it, I'll just pull out the new one. Hang on, and then like,
Oh, shit, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it was there.
yeah, right behind me. So we got the whole setup. Boom, 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 and then all the way here.
Show
Wait,
him the light switch. Show him the light switch.
Well, was your intent to block the sliding door?
Just for tonight.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, that switch is genius. That was
They were out just
beautiful.
for to be worked on, and but like for the stream, I just pulled them out because Hang-On's on wheels. It's amazing. The restaurant carpet sliders, but yeah, they'll all be put back tomorrow.
Wow. So wait, so what do you got? So you got on the left wall next to aliens, you could put 2 cabs?
Actually, on the wall here that used to have Star Wars Trilogy, it's actually 4 cabs now. So it's Aliens,
shit.
Street Fighter, Smash TV, and Hang On.
What?
Yeah, and then over here we've got our Star Wars and our Xenophobes. This is our space wall. So
Oh, I
Yo,
like
Brad,
it. You could fit-
there's 2 battle pods in Captain's Auctions tomorrow, but they're flat screen battle pods.
I don't
Oh,
need to be tempted anymore, Joel.
But there's 2 of them, so you might get them for cheap, and they're not the
And then-
deluxe
and
versions
then you can
because
link
they're
them.
sit down. Huh?
And then you can link them.
And then I could. Oh, you can link them.
Yeah.
Oh,
The flat screen
shit.
can link.
You don't have room for 2. You have room for 1 more.
I mean,
We're
God,
gonna expand the
photo.
we're expanding the arcade into the storage room. It's just inevitable at this point.
Storage room is big.
Yeah, that's a if you put all that stuff on the wall around the corner, you can fit a couple more arcades in there, at least 3.
Yeah, it's
So-
getting critical mass in the house though.
I'm still surprised that you're able to put 4 cabs on that wall
Well-
where Star Wars used to be.
Well, it really helps that the alien shooter is narrow because
He's at an angle.
It's the old GRS cab, and then up in the corner, the opposite corner, tucked in, is Hang On, which is great because
It's
Hang On is
skinny.
a one player. And you had it like if you had like all my rest of my games except for Atari Star Wars, they're all like multiplayer. And up in the corner there, you can't get 2 people shoulder to shoulder in the corner, so it just kind of worked out.
That's amazing.
We can't get rid of the couch, J-Rod.
Yeah. Well, that's and that's the tempting part because like I joked, of course, this is also like my movie room and my hi-fi stereo is on the other side and stuff.
Love that hi-fi.
Right now on the other side of this camera is my bar, and so I've got a wet bar down here, and I'm just like, there's been a couple times where guys where it's like, "Mom, I wish I didn't have that damn bar."
No, the bar's a good thing. You got to have the bar because that's the
Yeah, I
hangout
figure
spot.
you really do take advantage of the bar. I feel like you use that a
I
lot.
do love the bar, but sometimes it's just like, I could fit a battle pod down here.
Do you still have the dragon behind the bar?
I do. Dragon's Lair is behind the bar here.
No.
I know,
The
you're talking about the
dragon
actual
liquor.
dragon, like the bottle that you had.
Sorry, not Dragon's Lair. You mean Dragon.
Yeah, dragon.
Yeah. Hold on. We'll show the kids at home.
Can you turn your camera around?
Is the Osmo going to follow you? There you go.
Let's see here.
He's got the Hendrix still from last year.
Is it dark? It's dark.
It's dark. Turn the light on. Yeah, so that's a bottle of
There you go.
liquor.
It's like, damn, Osmo, don't follow me.
But unless I like manipulate it, but this is
That's a bottle of
a
liquor.
ooze.
That's insane.
It's crazy, right?
It's a work of art.
All
No
that
lie.
for some brandy.
Yeah, it's really bad brandy too.
Yeah, right.
I
You
got
still
to hear
got
that. Brad did the switch mod. You put the switch in for those fluorescent tubes, but how did you make the hole? Did you just like drill? I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, so there's a black cap on the bottom of that section, so you have to unscrew that to get to the wiring. And I just took a Dremel and notched out a little notch for the switch.
Oh, smart. Because I know that the switch you use is like it's a rectangle switch, like it's rectangular.
Yeah, so you would think like, oh, like the circular one. I just went through my spare parts bin, so there were circular switches, but they were only single pole, and I needed. This thing didn't have one hot, one ground going to the tubes. They each had their own hot and ground. So
Right.
I found a rectangular switch that had 4 poles on it, and so rather than 2 switches, I could just do it all with 1 switch, and it was like just square. But like it was actually ended up being
That's
easier
modding, people. That is
Yeah.
real fucking modding.
Genius.
well, because it was like just 3 straight cuts with a Dremel blade versus like worrying about drilling a hole on like brittle plastic. It was way easier.
Right.
So
But you
Very
actually
smart,
went through and then
what you
you found the 4-pole switch and then you drilled the hole and you did it. That's fucking modding.
yeah, and I just dug through my spare parts bin to find the switch too.
Yeah, I saw
And he
that
had his
switch.
spare parts bin with a switch.
He put that switch in a great spot. I was like, wow, it's just right there.
Yeah, you
Brad-
see it.
Brad's got some pretty good ingenuity.
And but yeah, it's and then I just put some because it wasn't a perfect fit, so I just got some like some foam tape, some black foam tape around the switch, and that also like secures it up in the little hole.
Yeah,
So perfect. But yeah, because I was telling Joel earlier, the light bleed for Trilogy in here is like super intense.
it's like right there. You're pink. you turn pink.
He looks like that TLC video, Red Light Special.
Now, if you technically are watching TV, the pink tubes, you probably get the hue off your TV, right?
Oh no, it is that whole wall is just red. Yeah, the whole wall with the TV on it is just like ugh. So. But yeah, so it was a case of like make sure Trilogy is off, and then watch TV, or have Trilogy on where it can have the arcade. But sometimes I like having the games on just for like ambiance and attraction.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, which
Love
is
yeah.
ambiance, right?
down here, So this way I can have Trilogy on, and I can choose whether I'm doing neon lights or whatnot. So
Educate me now on Hang On. Tell me, I never played Hang On, so like, what's
Hang
Oh,
On.
you never played Hang On.
Well,
never played Hang On.
you've played the Hang On technology. So Hang On was the first of the Sega Super Scalers. They actually invented the technology for Hang On. They would go on to use this technology for Outrun, Afterburner, Space Harrier, all of those things where it's kind of like first person and they're showing distance like a 3D effect by actually having things get bigger as they get closer to you. So that's called the super scaler system. And Hang On was the first machine to use it. So this is a motorcycle racing game. They kind of like there are a bunch of the Sega guys. They went crazy. They traveled to Europe. They were looking at like themes, and they thought that MotoGP was really hip right now, and so they decided to make the entire game based around motorcycles. So
Now, what's the controls on that? Is it just strictly handlebars, or is there a foot pedal?
nope, it's strictly handlebars, and you twist. There's a potentiometer. There's a cable on this handle, so when you twist it, it pulls a cable that turns a potentiometer. So that's your throttle. So you have an analog throttle, and then in front of that throttle is a handbrake that you can squeeze. That's also analog, but it's an analog handle, but it just pulls a digital 1-0 for the brake.
Okay.
So it's and that's then you have a start button and that's it. So you got analog steering, analog throttle, analog brake that's being interpreted as digital. It's got modding potential. That's 3 different analog inputs. So you could do a multicade on that pretty good. So
did you ever watch the Joe's Arcade video of them repairing a Hang On?
I did when I was doing research after I picked this one up. Yeah.
Did you watch like the whole thing? Did you watch them repair the controller?
That was what I was focusing on. That's where I saw that it's because I didn't take mine apart, but that's where I saw that it's a cable that pulls on. Yeah.
It's like a fucking it's like a brake cable.
Yeah.
Or not like a brake cable. It's like
a bicycle brake cable.
Yeah, or not like that. It's more like it's like the cable that you use to pop your hood with.
Right.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Like a parking brake cable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they took apart. Did they take apart a real motorcycle handle to use on that too? I think they use that as parts.
It's a 1-to-1 scale. It looks like it could be a real one. So it's a rubberized grip. But it's it's a cool controller and it's a cool game. It's dated. Like it's a high score game, kind of like in the old it's like Outrun. The longer you run, the more points you get.
Yeah.
But there was a Super Hang On that came out. It was pretty much the exact same game. So it was a lot like when Afterburner 2 came out. It was the same game with like some embellishments. Super Hang On had some embellishments where you can like choose different levels and stuff, but it looked the same. It played the same.
There's a board you can get. It's actually it's a Mr. FPGA
and
board.
hard to get.
Yes, the one that's in Europe. Joe's Arcade is the one that picked it up, and that's how I seen it. And they had it at the end of that video where it had all the hang-ons on it, but it was a direct plug and play into your
it's a Pi actually. It's a Pi, and then they have you get a Pi, and they make a board for it that goes to the GPIO.
There you go.
And the other end plugs into the original arcade. Plugs. So this wasn't JAMA, it's pre-JAMA. So it takes all of the original hang-on parts for the monitor, for the controller, for everything like that. And you can just then translate it to a retro, like a Pi, where it's running an image of like all the games that support these controls, like Hang On, Super Hang On, et cetera, et cetera.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
that's pretty neat. So you could basically there's basically a pre-made kind of multi-K type of setup for it.
Specific to arcade original hardware. So now, so you'll see a few people that make stuff like that, like Tempest. There's you can get people make an interface board where you can take a Pi, and then this interface board changes it so like any Tempest arcade. So and then it plays like Major Havoc and Tempest and
oh really
all these different vector. But here that one where it actually the Pi, the Raspberry Pi is going to output video to a vector monitor and it just plug and play.
Wow.
But these things are hard to get. So they sell out quick, and they are not cheap. But it's amazing that like the Super Scaler. I mentioned this is the first Super Scaler. It's like a 3-layer sandwiched board. It's a lot of boards in there, and to be able to replace all of that with a Pi interface, like
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You go from having these big ass fucking PCBs to like Pi.
And that fits in your hand. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
now, how many games would you say? Like Hang On's control scheme there. How many other games?
You could play Paperboy on that.
Yeah, you could totally play Paperboy on that. You could also now Paperboy had also the same throttle on the stick, but it was the controller on that was set up like a bicycle.
Yeah,
you could it totally works. So does the brake. The only thing you're missing is like the paper button, in which case you could maybe like use the start button on Hang On
or the brake.
Yeah, and now when it came to like other games like Outrun, technically it would work. You instead of using the pedal, you would be using the throttle. But yeah, it's you know, a lot of those super scalers. Now you're talking like Space Harrier used a joystick, so you know, basic stuff. I mean, that's when you get the multicade where it's like, oh, it's a multicade, but think back in like the arcade 1-up multicades where it was like, oh, we put a couple games on there that match this control scheme. You know,
Yeah.
like say what you will about arcade 1-up, they did sell multicades. A lot of people were like, arcade 1-up isn't a multicade. Yes, they were multicades.
Yeah, there's more than one game on it. It's a multi.
Yeah, I mean, except for like Terminator 2, but that's because they couldn't afford to put another game on that.
Hmm.
For licensing fees. Yeah, I was watching Glenn's
That's true.
stream earlier tonight, and some people were talking to Glenn about like, well, you're a multicade with his FUcade and everything. And he's like, well, they're kind of all multicades, guys. So
Yeah.
but yeah, like but if you want like a targeted, like it's like it's really just to play your signature game, and then like, oh, you might get 1 or 2 as a bonus that also work on these controls.
Hmm. Now, how is the one that you got now, though? What is like did you have to do anything to that hang on, or is it like in perfect condition?
Dude, hang on. Okay, first of all, hang on there's some Miss Pac-Man screen burn in the 19-inch monitor.
Oh
But,
yeah, I remember that.
but I actually have a square LCD replacement that I've been hanging on to in case Xenophobe ever needs one. But it's the same monitor that's in Xenophobe.
That fucking
And
camera.
but if you ignore the burn, it's done. He even has a coin button in it because there's no free play option in Hang On. So he's even put a coin button in it. It's just, and it's on casters. It's in great shape. And here's the thing: he delivered it to my house for free.
Which is
Yeah, I
crazy. He
remember
just
that.
needed it gone.
Yeah, it was just like he just like, oh well, you know, he was only an hour away, and I'm like, I could rent a truck because, by the way, it was super cheap, guys. I mean, like, to those of you at home, I'm just gonna tell you, this cabinet was $300 delivered.
That's
You can't beat
insane.
that. You can
delivered.
find them, man. You
That
gotta
is
hunt.
insane.
Yeah,
Just gotta hunt.
and the guy came to my house for no extra charge. So you know, and
That's
and nice
awesome.
too.
So now wait, that still has the CRT in it, or you change it to the LCD?
Yeah, it's still got the CRT in it, but I'm like, whatever. I've got the LCD if I want to do that. But it's not something I could buy. But
It's
right
funny.
now-
I think from here I could actually still see the Pac-Man burn.
yeah, it's
I could. It's like right at the top. You can see the squares.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But it's funny because I've got burn on like a couple of my monitors, but you don't really see it once the game's on. This one you see it.
Yeah, like
That's
that.
'cause
Like
it's a
that
different
screen
game,
right
that's
there. You
why.
can see it. I can see it right there.
It's because it's a different game. That's why. Because if
Yeah.
it was Pac-Man running in that, we wouldn't see the burn at all. When
Right.
Pac-Man was
It's just
on.
so funny that
But
the
it's following
insert
all the-
coin and the top score.
Yep.
It's right there. I can see like the columns.
Yeah, it's also a little disorientating because it's Pac-Man's a vertical mount, so the screen burn is all sideways because it's
Going that
turned,
way.
like more normal. But yeah, $300 delivered, and
That you can't go wrong with that.
No.
That is-
The cabinet
and
is-
that's also it's a unique cabinet.
yeah.
You actually have fucking handlebars. Like it's not a driver. It's not a racer.
No, and it's all of like 23 inches wide. It's a perfect little fit for down here in the corner.
That's
So
awesome.
I love the
little
little.
heavy?
Remember, do you ever see the little white one?
That's Super Hang On.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. They even made for the original Hang On. I don't think they did for Super Hang On. For the original Hang On, there was a version that was a plastic motorcycle that you sat on, and in front, mounted above the handlebars was.
Oh,
a
it's in the
monitor.
TV. Yeah, you showed us that, didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
And you lean to steer it, and it looks like a kiddie ride that would sit outside of a grocery store.
Yeah. But it was like the first bike game.
Yeah, but Sega was doing that stuff. Remember, they had the deluxe stuff back then. Like Outrun was a big ass car that moved when you steered, and of course the Afterburner. I did a live stream last year in Ohio. I was playing the full motion pod for Afterburner. And
Don't forget Radmobile, dude.
Yeah, all that
Radmobile was Sega. You were sitting in a half car and you had the switches for like the wipers and shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. They just, they really wanted that wow factor to get people to come and play their games, which went away in the 90s when you were more stick and button fighting game. Like, that was, but you got away from the spectacle of it. Now we're in arcades where you can play all this stuff, and you have all these arcade and game consoles at home. To go to an arcade, they really want the spectacle back. So you've got these big environmental like battle pods, and now a lot of these have VR experiences and stuff like that.
All the
Because
ticket redemption games. So kids
They're all
always win
ticket redemption
something.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so kids always win. That's it.
So, the spectacle, they're bringing the spectacle back. But the Sega had spectacle to spare in the 80s.
The big
Is
dude,
that
the
hang on cabinet
environment.
heavy?
Sorry, what's that?
Is that hang on cabinet like heavy? Is it like a bitch to move or?
No, actually, it's not. It's very narrow on the bottom, and like I said, it's on wheels, and it's only a 19-inch monitor. So it wasn't hard to move at all. Actually, wait. Do I have something else to share? Wait,
You probably have the video of you on the lawn.
yeah, I think I have a video of me on the lawn. Did I put that on YouTube?
That was awesome when he sent it to us. I was like, wow.
Let's see here. Oh, wait.
You know that guy when he pulled up, he was probably like, "Fuck."
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Gotta go across the grass.
He was a cool guy. Wait, first of all, let me share screen.
I can't get enough. His dynamo cabinet is just. I love that. That Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, that dynamo cabinet is nice.
That's awesome.
Why do you have a bike helmet?
That is
I was doing it for a bit.
Well, you don't have a bike. Why do you have a bike helmet?
I got it for the bit.
Yo, you borrowed it. Okay. I thought it was like yours. I'm like, why the fuck does Brad have a helmet?
That was
Like
the
his
best,
Ford
'cause
Pro
he's-
isn't gonna crash.
He's yelling and he drops the mask and you don't hear it anymore. And then he all of a sudden brings up the shades.
I know, right?
crying when you said that. I was like, wow. This. Now that's not on a dolly. That's not like a hand truck. You're just dragging it.
No, I got a hand truck on the back of it. But my yard tilts away, so he was making sure it wasn't going to tip over. But yeah, it was that's.
I mean, you guys are booking it. Luckily, you had the hand truck.
yeah. So it was fun stuff. The guy
Very cool. You gotta
Wish it
love it
wasn't
when a
raining
guy
like
like that delivered to you, and he helps. Like that's it. Like all right, it takes 10 minutes out of your life. It helps.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I've got so Hang On came in, International Shootout came in. These are big. This is big. I was telling Joel. I mean, like it's been years since I've had an addition to the arcade. There was Alien Pinball that I got back in October, but but yeah, some big additions.
An actual arcade.
Yeah, and then I'm this past week, I've been doing some stuff off my bucket list. My Smash TV multicade. I finally, like in January, bit the bullet and found somebody on eBay, and I bought a Total Carnage board because I had Robotron and Crawl, but I could get those on J-Rock. But for Total Carnage, you need an original PCB, and they were hard to find and expensive. Total Carnage wasn't a very popular game. But I finally got it, but then it didn't work, and I was like, I finally got around to getting it all fixed up. Do you guys want to see what happened when I finally got the sound working? Because
Jonas.
There's Jonas. This
that's
is good.
hysterical.
This is real good.
I saw the shirt. I was like, what is going on here?
Was here we go. The PCB for Total Carnage was also used on NBA Jam and the first Mortal Kombat. So while I was trying to, when I got this PCB, the soundboard wasn't working, and so I was trying to find another soundboard for Total Carnage, and I couldn't find one. Well, eventually I realized, oh wait, it's Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam. There's a ton of those. So yes, this is on a JAMA switcher. So I've got a 4-port JAMA switcher, and this was going to be my 4th game. So once I knew that it was Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam used the same soundboard, I was able to eventually source a new soundboard that was a Mortal Kombat. I was just going to swap the ROM chips off from Total Carnage. But I thought, just to test it, what if I don't swap the ROM chips? What'll happen? So let me go ahead and share the screen here, and we'll show you what happens when I put this in. Soundboard of my Total Carnage with one from a Mortal Kombat. Just to test it, but I've decided just for now to leave the Mortal Kombat ROM chips on the soundboard and see what happens. Well, that doesn't sound like Total Carnage. Well, that seems to be the Mortal Kombat music playing during Total Carnage. My machine gun is making punching noises. If you guys don't recognize, that's punching happening very quickly, but every time, so I'll move slower here. I'll just hit the joystick once at a time here. Oh yeah, there it is. And it's every single sound is a 1-to-1. Amazing.
So now, wait. So I don't understand. So did you buy? Oh, I heard it. Oh, bring it back. Oh, my dumb ass over here talking. Dude, bring it back, Brad. My stupid ass is talking.
Where we go?
I didn't get into that.
See, I'll jump to the end here.
The music's the best. It makes you want to bang your head.
Yeah.
I love the music.
Okay, so when the countdown, when it runs out of credits here, listen to what happens when it does game over. Amazing.
Okay, so I just replaced the soundboard on my total
So
car.
you did you have this Mortal Kombat soundboard, or you just
No, I
recently bought it?
sourced a replacement soundboard on eBay, and it happened to come out of a Mortal Kombat. My intention was to put the Total Carnage ROM chips. It's 3 chips, and I was just going to put my Total Carnage chips on a working soundboard. And I thought, there's no way it's going to work until I do that, right? There's no way that the address call outs are going to. Anyway, to get into it, there's no way. It's just going to be like nothing, right? Because it's going to be looking for sound files that don't exist on Mortal Kombat. No, it's looking for sound number 1 for punch, sound number 1 for shoot a gun, and
That's crazy.
everything, every music track, every sound effect is a 1-to-1 replacement. Which means if anybody has any ROM chips from NBA Jam, I'd love to know what they sound like.
Oh my god! Every time you're shooting, it says he's on fire, but it's repeating it. He's
He's on fire. He's on fire.
Oh, it's hysterical. I didn't think that was going to work, and
Dude,
then it
you
did.
should
I'm
get-
thinking leaving it that way.
So remember we talked about too the MK2. It's the MK2 board that you can replace the soundboard on Terminator 2 when you have a broken
Terminator 2.
2.
I was doing the
So now,
research, and Terminator 2 and Mortal Kombat 2 use the same one.
now imagine if you didn't replace the sound chips on the MK2 board, and every time you would pull on the trigger, it's a machine gun.
Yeah. Or instead of fatality, it's like hasta la vista, baby.
That would be great, right?
That's insane. Now, did you have the ROM chips for Total Carnage and it's already done, or you're waiting on them?
So I put Mortal Kombat in there. I left the Mortal Kombats in there for the video. That was funny. But then just to make sure everything worked, I did put the Total Carnage ROM chips in. And so there was another short I put out where I was fixing the CMOS battery in Total Carnage. In that video, you can hear the actual Total Carnage sound effects because I have the ROM chips in there. So, but it's I'm thinking of putting the Mortal Kombat ones back in and leaving them there.
Just to screw people like, whoa.
You should, man. That's fucking
That's hilarious.
hilarious. You know, if we come to visit, you got to swap the sound chips.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
There's
and-
so many more games at your house to play now too.
well,
Yeah, there's a lot.
we just passed the
You
one
don't have
year
to
mark.
watch Playboy on Laserdisc from 1978.
It was 1989.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Brad, how old is your Pandora that's inside the Dynamo cabinet?
Oh, it's the 10th anniversary one.
So how
Oh,
long has
that's the
that
retro
been
shooter
there?
one.
So I was at 2023 when I got the cabinet. I went online.
Okay.
It was still new. So
Okay.
it was
That's the retro
2023
shooter one, right?
was that?
The Pandora 10th anniversary. That's the retro shooter one, isn't it?
No, it's similar. They're both called 10th anniversary. This one doesn't have the retro shooter interface, but this one has the 15 kilohertz video out option. So it was plug and play for
Right.
video.
Nice.
So-
Correct.
Very nice.
I just like to hear that because I mean, again, you have a real Pandora box, and it's going on now for 2 years, and you haven't had any issues with it, right? It hasn't died on you or anything.
No, it's been great. I mean, of course, it doesn't have that many hours on it, here compared to like maybe some places, but it's been great. The boot up is really slow, and it does. So I have an original CPS board in there too. We're currently with Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. So sometimes I just swap the jam up between the two if I want to play original. But like I can play Champion Edition on Pandora too. But what does bug me is the screen sizing and all of the dialing into the monitor. You can dial it into one or the other, but not both because they're different.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a similar problem with the JAMA switcher on Smash TV because I've got 4 games on there now, and they all want to be in a different place. So none of them are perfectly squared, but I do have it to the point where they're all like they're all work.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the worst is Crawl, which was originally a vertical screen game, so it's already stretched, but it's also like more to the left than the others. But whatever, you can play them, so they work.
Yeah. This is playable.
Yeah, so
Playable is
Pandora's
all we
box
need,
is-
right? We can deal with a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
like
they
right
choose
there, and it's 25 inches, and it's 4 inches from your eyes, so it's
Yeah.
It's 25 inches, 4 inches from your face, and it's a little to the left.
The N in insert coin is a little bit cut off.
We're at a Mandingo party.
yeah. So I've got Smash TV finally all squared. I should say Total Carnage all squared away. There was some rabbit holes to chase on that. So when I was troubleshooting the Total Carnage board, the soundboard, sometimes you have to turn the voltage up to get the soundboard to kick in.
Oh yeah.
Because it does need more than a straight 5 volts. It was like 5.7 volts is a nice happy spot for it. But when doing that, I took it a little beyond 5.7, which made my J-Rock stop working for Robotron. And I was ready to like go on eBay and try to find a replacement Robotron. By the way, J-Rocks with the Robotron game are sold out everywhere right now. So they're like $300-400 on eBay. Just like, wait a minute, wasn't I messing with the power supply? So sure enough, I hooked up a multimeter and I found a sweet spot where everything works, and that's like 5.1 volts. So, but yeah, so everything's working on Smash TV. The next thing is I'm going to be fixing the monitor in Street Fighter. So yeah. So I've got actually, so I was going to be doing a cap kit. This is my spare monitor. It's not great. The color's weird and it's got some banding issues, but it works. My other monitor was cutting out. There's probably it needs a cap kit. So I was going to do a cap kit on it. And instead I found a guy in Pennsylvania who has a completely rebuilt complete chassis, new flyback, new caps, new everything. And so that just arrived today. So this weekend, hopefully I'm just going to put a whole new chassis in my other monitor and swap it back in.
Wow.
So
is that I've never done that. Is that a big ordeal? Is that like a big project?
Chassis swap is super easy compared to doing a cap kit. Both have you take the chassis off. One has you replacing dozens of capacitors. The other is just pull the chassis off and put another one on. Okay. I uploaded a video of a chassis swap for my Xenophobe 19-inch. And so at the time I had already bought like a purpose-built like discharge tool and this is this and that. And so I've got all the shit to do it. It's just doing it on the 25-inch. It's a little more cumbersome. So yeah.
Brett, can you put a Vindicators in your Xenophobe?
Not Vindicators, but you can put Rampage.
You can put Rampage.
Rampage is a plug and play. It's the exact same hookups. Still 3 players. Still, it's got a really weird video out as well. But Rampage was the follow-up to Xenophobe, and it was identical hardware. And it was a way more popular game.
But the controls are different.
Nope. It's still 3-player joystick, except that Rampage has 2 buttons and Xenophobe has 3. That's it.
I wonder if you could put Golden Axe in it, because that's 3 players.
Yeah, now Golden Axe is JAMA, so you could, if you wanted to rewire it, you could put a shitload of stuff in there. But if you wanted like plug and play, like Rampage is plug and play.
How does the Xenophobe controllers hook into the board? Are they going into like pins?
Yeah. It's a series. It's all like little Molex type connectors.
Right. So it's pins. It's a pin connector.
It's all pins and stuff. So
it's almost like a kick harness, but it's not a kick harness.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Right. That's a better way of putting it. So same thing with its video. Its video looks like a little version of that, and then it's got the board gets a power hookup. But it's all one giant board. And I mean giant. It's huge.
Right.
But it's not like sandwiched. There's one giant board in there. And Rampage looks almost identical. They both have an external soundboard. It's the exact same soundboard, just the ROM chips on it. I did buy a Rampage to put in there just to hot swap because I thought it'd be fun. They don't make a switcher. It's not JAMA. There's no way to switch it. But it turned out, it was an as-is Rampage and it didn't work. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, send it to Ken.
Does Ken do old Midway? I thought he
Dude, Ken does like everything. He did Silent Scope for Keyblade Jose. He did Silent Scope, and Silent Scope had the it was a ROM chip, not a ROM chip error. It was the 11E error, I believe it was, on the Silent Scope, which is the common error. So Ken fixed it. Jose already got it back and plugged it in, and he was like, dude, it works. Like it just turned right on and worked. He's gonna fix my X-Men Konami board, my 4-player.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna fix that for me. And literally in his response, he's like, I might be the only person in the world who fixes these Konami boards like that. So like if you got a Simpsons or a TMNT that have the sound issue, Ken fixes it. I bet he works on the Midways too. He probably works on every game board.
I was about to say that probably is like nothing to him. It's funny though. You mentioned that he fixed up a Silent Scope because you guys remember I almost bought a Silent Scope. And it was working, and then I drove out there, and the guys like turned it on, and like it just crashed right there. He's like, "Oh, it worked right before you got here."
Oh, you were so mad! You were so mad.
Oh man, it was. But it was. I was getting. It was. It was like, hang on. It was super cheap. It was super close. And I was just gonna jump on it, and like, it just. Thank God it broke because Otherwise, I wouldn't have. It would have gone in my pinball room, in which case I wouldn't have had room for Alien Pinball eventually later. So
I
Yeah,
have
you probably
somebody by me is selling a Silent Scope 2.
with the
But it's
11E or
It's got an error 11P.
11P. Sorry, dude, get that. Send that board to Ken. Ken only paid. I think Ken charged. He's charging me 150, maybe 160. And then I have to pay for shipping back. So I think that's what he's charging me. But that's all he's charging me to fix the board. That's all he charged Keyblade.
I'm surprised, but this guy wants $600.
$600 plus. You could probably talk him down to fucking $200 or $300 because it's got the
That's
error and
right.
you got to pay to get it fixed.
yeah, I would say
Like-
it's broken. What's he going to do with it? But
Yeah,
the hard
you
part
could do
about
the whole, bro. Do you know what the error code is and how to fix it? And he can be like,
Silent
no.
Scope's kind of a bitch to move too.
Oh, it's
Like,
big and
physically
heavy.
Move. So
It is a big cabinet. I just don't know about the whole. There's a monitor inside the scope, right? Isn't there like a screen in the scope?
there is, yeah, and that's generally, believe it or not, that's usually not the problem. So
I'm more concerned about if that actually breaks. Like, is there replacements for that right now?
well, it's a little LCD screen. If it breaks, yeah, you're done. But it's, I think Dark Silhouette, the sequel, I think the big screen will actually show the zoom in as well. I don't think.
That's what this is. This is Dark Silhouette.
Yeah,
Silent
I think
Scope
when
2.
you're because we saw it at Magfest, Joel.
We did.
I think that Dark Silhouette, the little LCD in the scope shows the zoom in, but also people that are watching can see the zoom in, kind of like the Xbox port of it. Like if we play it
Okay.
emulated, like it shows just a circle on the big screen. I think Silhouette, the arcade, does that too. So in
Interesting.
theory, if the LCD went out, the game would still be playable. Yes, it is a two-piece cab. Yeah, so it's the TV section and then the pedestal for the gun. It's big. The individual pieces are not unwieldy, but it is kind of a pain in the ass to move. So
He's got a big ass
Is it
CRT
really the
inside.
gun? Oh, it is.
I
see.
bet that CRT can get replaced with a flat screen too.
oh yeah, no, it's not a light gun at all. So
Right.
wait,
It's a positional gun.
yes. What was I saying? I panicked for a second. There was oh, that's what, you know what? I always have to double check because I assume any of the with a mounted gun is a positional gun. But believe it or not, one of the first ones, Operation Wolf, was a pedestal gun that was still a light gun. So
Operation Wolf was still a light gun?
Operation Wolf was a light gun. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's good to know because somebody over here was trying to get rid of an Operation Wolf with a repaired board for $200, but there was no CRT. So I mean, it's not worth it.
It
That's
won't
why he
work.
couldn't get rid of it because nobody wanted to buy it. It was the same
Yeah.
guy I got my Killer Instinct cab from.
Yeah.
Same exact dude, and I was like, yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah. So if you watch a gameplay original hardware, you'll see the screen flashing white because it's a light gun game. So
Interesting.
and I don't think there's no crosshair. Most pedestal XY guns will have an on-screen crosshair.
Yeah, there's no crosshair for that game at all. It's just
Nope.
you got to aim it.
Yeah,
Aim
except
the
for those
you
of us
got
who are used to
crosshairs
playing-
in the scope.
if you those of us who are used to playing on a MAME for the last 30 years or something, like we can do the MAME crosshairs. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh right, Operation Wolf. I'm thinking we're still talking about Silent Scope, right? Yeah.
Right.
No, Operation Wolf. Yeah, I love the crosshairs in the main. I really do. I know that it
I always
doesn't.
put the crosshairs on. It's weird, but
It's not that it makes the game easier. It's just more convenient. Just to get poo.
Yeah.
You know, and you're growing through it. It's just way more convenient.
yeah,
So, dude.
especially back in the days of like aim track or something, when like maybe I'm not standing in the exact spot I calibrated in or something.
Now I get the duck hunt people where they're like, "Oh, you're cheating at duck hunt then," but because you kind of are, but it still makes duck hunt more enjoyable.
yeah.
It does.
Because honestly, even with me playing Duck Hunt with crosshairs on, if you're just off that square of the duck, it's like, nope, you missed. It's like, son of a bitch.
exactly. You got to be
Well,
spot
back in
on.
the day, you want to play duck hunt when did you guys know? I didn't until I was like 40 that the player 2 controller will control what direction the ducks fly.
Go sit on the porch.
Apparently,
goddamn-
the whole D-pad and all that.
Dude, I hate that meme. It's like, bro, that meme's been going around for like 10 years. And people share that thing like it's brand new. Like, bro, really? Like, I didn't know that until I seen the meme either, but it's like, all right, now.
I think Brad, did you show a short of? I think it was I think it's Area 51, where if you don't shoot anybody for the first like mission, it brings you into like a psychotic world.
Oh no, I saw
What?
that video. That wasn't me, but I saw that video too. Yeah, there's a hidden room.
If you do Brad, correct me if I think it's Area 51. If you don't shoot at all the entire first part, and then you get into like the warehouse,
yeah,
What?
it like the whole screen is like you're on acid, and it's like green and purple and shit's like. So you technically don't ever. I think you get damaged, but you don't die on the first segment, and it's literally like a block text of words that says like you are now in this like level and all that. Brad, I don't know if Joel's looking it up right now.
I am looking it up. Of course, I'm
Joel's,
looking
like,
it up.
so into the screen.
I'm like way into it, right?
Did anybody else know that in the chat? Again, thanks to TikTok or I'm pretty sure it's TikTok. Somebody posted it on TikTok that it's like if you don't shoot in Area 51, you're gonna get into this whole like hidden level. It's not a hidden level.
Oh, I found it. I found it.
It's the warehouse level, just all green and purple.
Sharing screen. It's messed up.
Is it Area 51 though?
Yeah, it is definitely Area 51. All right, watch this.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
that's the same video that I was just fucking looking at too.
Yeah. Oh, come
Right,
on.
but I think you're not supposed to, unless that was a track mode, you're not supposed to.
Look at that.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Is that a woman?
Yeah, this is something else then. I didn't see this. I saw something else.
Dude, I'm playing Area 51 when we get off the screen.
Maybe it's maximum force.
This is Area 51.
This is Area 51.
No,
That's one of
maybe
the
the thing that
maximum
I'm talking about is maximum force.
Yeah, they're sister games. So if there's a secret in one, this one's so messed up.
Well, but this is weird because he's actually playing the game.
Yeah,
I wonder how he gets to that.
What the fuck? What is with all these half-naked women in these games?
Well, they're the same models from
From like Revolution X.
Rev X. Yeah, it's the same models from Rev X. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I think you just passed because I saw a hint of purple and green. No.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
the
same.
same. That's the
This
purple.
one is new. I've never seen this. I've seen something else.
That's
Let me
fucked
see.
up.
Hold on. It might be maximum force then.
The maximum force very well could have something because they're the same game basically.
I'll tell you, the one that I saw, I think it was the guy on TikTok. It's like that Matt the arcade guy or whatever.
Oh, I know him. Yeah. That's where I saw it. Yeah.
Man,
Let's see if I can find it.
I think Killer Arcade Games also mentioned it.
Let's see, because he did a stream.
No, why?
I haven't played Maximum Force enough to even know the difference. So.
Yeah, I always go Area 51 if I play any of them.
Right.
Oh, it's not this.
Oh, I think I might have found it. Hang on. Come on, later. Yeah, I think I found it. Hang on.
I would have to that video that Brad just showed. You have to. I guess you gotta. I hate now. I did YouTube Area 51 hidden area, and now I'm getting a whole shitload of. No, I'm telling you, you're not supposed to shoot. You're not. You don't shoot here. What is this? Is this Area 51 or is this? I gotta look up fucking Matt the arcade guy.
There we go. No, if this doesn't do it, it's nothing well.
This has got to be AI.
This is weird. What is going on here? What is on your screen right now? This is not happening. Oh man. I'm telling you this. I don't know what's going on here. I have no idea what you stumbled upon. I have no clue. No, it's not this. What is happening? happening here? Are we serious?
Is this Brad's house?
I've never seen that many bullets on the left side of the screen. I think you found a ROM hack, dude. What is going on here? New secret room. This is probably just some user. This is.
Yeah, the game doesn't work like that because the floor doesn't lift up. I've played unless the duo version's different, but the floor doesn't lift
This
up.
ain't it. This is not the thing that I saw.
This is weird shit.
What we've discovered is there's a lot of weird shit with Area 51 and Max.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have the thing there, and she's just going crazy. All right. That's weird shit. Dude, Vic, you're like, type in Area 51 secret level, and it's like, you know all this propaganda that just popped up on my computer?
Yeah, that's what I have right now.
Oh, yeah.
Morning.
Careful.
Like, all this ancient alien shit.
Yeah, I'm like, son of a bitch. I put the wrong term in, and now I'm screwed.
Arcade.
All right, we lost like 10 viewers because we were playing that.
But then we gained
Somebody
30
didn't
more.
want Somebody didn't want to see the Revolution X girl.
No,
getting
I have
eaten
to
out for
legit
my
now
guts.
delete my search history on YouTube to avoid this.
Clear your search history. Vic, it's still in the meta. If they come
Yeah,
for you.
that's true. Everything is there, yes. It's
Everything's in the meta. You can't get away from it. Everything is in the meta.
Um,
You can't get away from shit.
oh,
Did you guys?
I have one other video to share. I went to Hamden, which is a cool little hip area of Baltimore.
Oh yeah, talk
The
about
metal
that.
bar.
And it turned out it was this Mexican. So the guy who owns the International Shootout says you should go check out Holy for Holies. I provide all the pinball machines there. And I'm like, oh, damn, I've heard of that place. It's on Pin Mapper. I've never actually gone. So I went, and they had Evil Dead.
Nice.
And this was the deluxe Evil Dead with like the Deadite topper. And it's probably like a $13,000 table.
Yeah.
But they had the new Dungeons and Dragons. They had the limited edition Pulp Fiction. They had Galaxy Tank Force, just like bangers. And they had a couple wide body classics from the '70s. But I had a ton of fun there. The problem is that it was live music night. There was like death metal literally playing like right next to my head. So it was really bad. So,
Yeah, you sent us a video, and it sounded like I don't know what the audio was, but I was
didn't
like,
hear the
it sounds
background in
like
the
you're-
first video.
like when the music's too loud and your microphone can't pick it up, and it's
yeah,
just like
this is real. This is not an overlay. This is really what it sounded like.
I assure you, it was not.
Yeah, that audio in the background, we couldn't really hear what it was picking up.
I assure you.
And
I couldn't hear it. I was like, what is that? It sounds like now the machines, the pinball machines you had to pay to play.
They were quarter tables. Yeah.
What was
And,
how much was like Evil Dead? Was it like
They were
$1?
all $1 a play. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
not bad.
And but this is how close I was to the live music. So here's Evil Dead, and they are right there next to my head.
Now, I'm assuming in front of the drummer is the crowd, like the people. Was there a lot of people?
There was, yeah. And it's just funny because the live venue was, you go around behind the back of the bar and there's the pinball room, and in front of the bar is the live music area. But then they wrap around and actually connect literally, and there's just a gate there. So,
You're basically on the stage when
You're
I'm playing.
He's backstage. Are you kidding?
backstage. And it was so loud that like my teeth shook.
Wow.
But
I also chuckled because the drummer is legit wearing like.
yeah, he's got
Headphones.
cannon because it's so damn loud. So
Dan, you picked the one day that like heavy
The
metal's
one
going
Saturday
on in the
night.
yeah, it was a Sunday night too. It was a
wow.
Sunday night.
weekend. So I went up thinking Sunday would be dead. Oh my god, it was not dead. Oh
You got bands playing on a Sunday night? That's bullshit.
yeah.
You got your hair cut for that?
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
So but yeah. Oh, are there any nerds in the room? I got nerds.
I got nerds.
Let's see here.
Like
What,
the candy?
Oh, you're gonna show some of the Star Trek stuff?
I'll
Are
just
you
show
gonna snort some nerd candies?
did they copyright strike it?
I just
they
went to
did.
Burger
Okay,
King with my
okay.
kid. I had some nerd
Not
shit.
copyright strike, but it's
Really?
I think they got some frozen nerd thing at Burger King.
Oh, they got a frozen like a slushies. I know what you're talking about.
I haven't been to Burger King in a long time.
But you're not complaining about it.
Dude, my kiddo got like chicken nuggets. They were ass. I was like, wow, these suck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't like it. Did not like it.
So you're a McDonald's guy, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know, that is not Brad. That is Chad.
That is my evil twin.
That is his evil twin.
Chad's jacket is sick. That is a great jacket, honestly. It's a beautiful jacket.
This is awesome.
This is like a 1-to-1 replica, right?
No, it was the set.
Oh, wow. Where was this, though? Like, it was in Universal Studios?
Universal Studios, yeah.
Brad, good mirror shot right there.
Very cool.
Yeah, I never realized that at the back of the Bridgeport where like dwarf would stand.
Yeah.
That it's made out of wood.
Yeah, the horseshoe.
Yeah.
So the original set was, of course, struck down after the series. They redressed it for the first Next Gen movie, and then it was all torn down. But they for the final season of Star Trek Picard, spoilers, the Enterprise D makes an appearance at the end of the series, and they spent their entire set budget rebuilding the bridge set by like hook or by crook. They like found blueprints in somebody's garage. They found bits and pieces and photographs, and so they rebuilt the bridge set as best they could. But they put modern embellishments on it. So rather than just like transparencies over like black plastic with they're all backlit, there was a lot of touch screens on it. There were a lot of flat screen displays, and they took the set when Star Trek Picard was done, and they made it this experience you could walk through at Universal Fan Fest at Universal Studios. So like, so some people like myself included, they might have seen the Star Trek experience back in Vegas at the Las Vegas Hilton, where you could kind of a walk through adventure and then you end up on the bridge of the Enterprise. That was like they had oversized the bridge. So so groups could come in and really fit people in there. So it was the bridge, but it was all giganto, like the Duplo version of like Star Trek. But this was 1-to-1. They had it roped off where you couldn't get to the chairs, but you could get on the horseshoe and the back consoles. And we had VIP passes, which gave us like early access with a bunch of people. And we just thought like, oh, early access. What I didn't know until we went through it like 10 times that night. When we went on it during normal hours where everyone was like past the VIP time, at the end of it, they're like, okay, it's over, and head to the transporter room and get the F out. Next group's got to come in. But during VIP, when the experience is over, they're like, hey, do you guys want to stop and take some pictures and hang out for a little bit? And we're like, yeah. So a lot of those showed were like things that we were able to do that the regular groups were like shuffled out. They weren't allowed to touch anything. So I uploaded on TikTok because people were like, they let you touch it? Some Vulcan shoved me off the bridge when I tried to touch it. I'm like, dude, I was like, I'm licking that shit.
Should have told me you're a peasant. You should have paid. Should have got that.
Brad's like, my DNA is on this bridge.
You mentioned that like, you like Chad's uniform. The performers like Chad's uniform too. And we went through it a few times. So a couple of times we went through and there's an emergency happening on the Enterprise and they're all in character. And Chad walks through the hall and one of the guys is on the console. It's like, oh, Captain, I'm so glad you're here to help us out with this. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Pulled him right in.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Was that in Universal LA or Orlando?
Yeah, that's LA. That's their so Universal Studios Hollywood is actually if you guys that was the first time I had been there. It's actually on the studio lot.
Yeah.
So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So like one of the events was another Back to the Future event, and we took a tram like down the hills past all the studios, and then you're in the town square that they used for Hill Valley, and which
was also the town square for Gremlins.
Yep, exactly. And it was used for a bunch of movies. They redressed it to look like the 1955 Hill Valley for the event. And it was just a giant LARP down there where, like tons of people all in character. There was a concert going on. And but on the way there, between there and the theme park, it's all the sound stages all around you and everything. So it was it's all right there.
That's cool.
That's
really cool. I've seen that you found the Animaniacs too, where they're hiding out.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers water tower. Saw that. We did all the touristy shit. We went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We did a tour of the Paramount Studios lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. We
What was Paramount like?
I took a picture outside of the giant stage 29 where Deep Space Nine was. The promenade for Deep Space Nine was in that building, and so we were in their New York backlots where they did like How I Met Your Mother and a bunch of Star Trek, and so we were all hanging out like, oh my god, this is the scene from that one episode. I'm gonna stand in that same spot, take a picture.
How long were you there for?
We were there for 48 hours, and we were so busy. We did a lot.
Oh, you were
of
just
hours
blowing
after
through it,
48
and you
hours.
were jet lagged as fuck, probably too.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
Wow.
total time change difference there. So wait, how was Universal having a Star Trek exhibit when Paramount owns Star Trek? Does Paramount own Universal?
Yeah, so
They do. Okay,
Paramount is one studio, and Universal, they're two different studios.
right.
But
But does one own the other?
Universal Studios Hollywood, they basically paid for the rights for the Star Trek experience. They
Oh, okay,
so-
okay. Because Star Trek is owned by Paramount,
right.
right? And so
It's it's weird right now. Paramount is there was a for a while they were split where it was like the Star Trek TV series and then like the Star Trek movies were like separate. So
Right.
when the J.J. Abrams stuff came out, that was a different license than what the Star Trek shows were. But since then, it's all kind of merged back together. It was a weird spot like back in the 60s when like CBS originally owned it. And then it changed hands a few times and it became Paramount and blah, 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 blah. Point is,
Dude, Bob Barker was raping bitches on that lot.
oh my God. It was a different time.
He was.
It was a different time. So he got
Did you guys hear about the Pee Wee? There's like a Pee Wee documentary now.
it is so good.
Is it really?
I haven't watched it yet. I was going to watch it this week.
Is it like a series or is it like one?
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's I think it's
Like a
limited-
2-hour special.
but it's really good.
It's kind of like how they did Michael Jackson. Remember how they did Michael Jackson? It's very similar to that.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, I want to watch it too. So I'm really excited. I'm not a fan of Pee Wee. I'm a fan of the actor.
yeah, Paul Rubens.
Yeah, I did not get into Pee Wee when I was a kid. I thought it was the weirdest fucking show in the world.
It was on.
Well, I mean, if you're an adult and you're on acid,
I was so it was a little. I was a little outside of its target age range. I'm a little older than you guys. Yep, just a little. But
you're fucking 45.
I was God, how old was I? I was more like 10 when it was on the air.
Right, and you're 45.
48 in a couple months.
You're 48. Okay, so you're 45. Fuck, I didn't realize you were that old. So you were born in 77 or 76?
77.
77. All right, the same age as my brother.
Is your brother old? I don't know.
Yeah, he's old. Yeah, he's old as fuck. 1977, dude. That's the year Star Wars came out. You were born.
I missed Star Wars by a couple months, so I'm September.
You were a baby.
I was a little baby.
You were able to make it to Return of the Jedi.
I did see Empire in theaters. So
When you were like 3?
I was 3. My parents took me to see Empire. I remember the probe droid
and
sequence.
Dad was 3 and 5 minutes.
he was 2 years, 11 months, 29 days. But no, I remember Jedi fully, like standing in line opening day for Jedi. I have trace memories of watching Empire Strikes Back, but Return of the Jedi, I remember standing in line opening day for that. So,
do you remember when Star Wars was only on TV at Christmas time on the USA channel? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I more than that.
Well, Brad would remember that. Vic, you would.
Copy of Star Wars that I watched, that I memorized, that my brother and I, that we recorded off TV and then just watched until the tape fell apart, was off Super TV. You guys don't know what Super TV is. Super TV was a service for people who didn't have cable, because cable wasn't very widely available, especially we were up in Western Maryland, like horse country, pretty rural. Right. But you could get a decoder box, like a cable box, and then after like 10 o'clock, you tune a channel like 72, and then they would broadcast Super TV on channel 72, but it was all scrambled like Cinemax after hours, and this box scrambled it. So we were watching, they had a thing of Star Wars, and that we were recording it. And that was the copy we watched over and over and over again. But there was a point right when Luke tries to talk Han into like going with them to fight the Death Star. It's like, come on, they could use a good pilot like you. You're turning your back on them. And as soon as he stopped saying that, all of a sudden it went to scramble again, and all I heard was Duran Duran for the rest of the conversation. And it's like all scrambled, and you hear Duran Duran playing, and then it finally cut back in, and that's when Hans was like, "Hey, kid, may the force be with you." And it was like 10 years before I knew what that conversation was.
Wow.
I watched that recorded copy.
You
Because
probably
your
grew up
dad
thinking
would-
Duran Duran was part of the movie.
I love that your dad got like the OG cheater box.
Yeah.
Little black box, yep.
Yeah, you probably didn't know actually what it was until you can buy it on VHS again.
Oh, yeah.
Because until you were old enough to buy it on VHS, that is too.
It was it would have been probably a VHS rental, probably,
Blockbuster.
years later.
No, dude, Blockbuster wasn't even around in the 80s. Blockbuster was the 90s.
It wasn't, yeah.
No, so
little mom
he's
and pop
going to
stores.
like, I mean, there were video rental stores,
Yeah.
but you remember they were like mom and pop stores?
Yeah, I worked at one.
Yeah. I had one at the corner, literally at the corner of my
The
street.
one I
that
worked on was
grew up
literally
on.
called Mom's Video. You know about Mom and Pop. It was literally
Oh,
called Mom's Video.
There you
And
go.
when now there was a Blockbuster across, in another town, but there was a Hollywood Video, which was pretty big.
This is later in the 90s.
They
Right.
came into town, and I remember my boss sent me over there as to spy on them to see how many copies they had of the new releases and stuff, so we could try to like keep up. So-
Brad, go for a walk. You're on the clock.
Go see the competition for us.
And I was like that guy. I was like Randall in Clerks when he went to the good video store, just like dropped to his knees and it's like, I work in a shitty video store. I want to go to a good video store. But yeah, I am old. So
Did you take advantage out of that Cruise and Blast on Techno Pirate freebie?
I have.
no, in fact, I haven't even gotten what is it? I haven't even gotten Mission Impossible yet on my shooter cab.
Oh, wow.
So I don't have Mission Impossible. I didn't download Mission Impossible because it's 30 gigs.
It's
Yeah.
It's a heavy,
And I-
it's a heavy
Yeah.
file.
I have to
Um,
expand my drive to a 1 terabyte now if I'm going to add that, or I can just give it to people and be like, "Hey, put it on your hard drive, not this hard
Yeah,
drive,
here's a
though,"
download link.
and
Yeah.
then just guide the game to it." But
yeah.
yeah, no, I got to expand the hard drive to 1 terabyte, so I didn't download that yet.
So what
Yeah.
have you guys played Cruise and Blast on Techno? How's it compared to the Switch version?
It feels slow.
Really?
Yeah, so like you're playing the Nintendo Switch version and you're flying, right? Like it's an intense experience playing that game on Switch. I didn't feel that when I was playing it on Techno, and it was the very, very first time. I've never played it in the arcade, so it was my very first experience with the arcade
I
version
have
of
played
that
it.
game.
I
And
thought the Switch version is a great port of the.
you know how the Mario Kart Techno version seems like it's driving slow, but if you play
Yeah.
Triforce, like you're cruising in it. That's what I felt like.
the one thing
So
I
I mean,
is the controls feel a little rubber bandy on Yuzu when I'm using X output. It's sometimes
because they are.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
they are. They're super rubber bandy.
Yeah, so I thought it would be better controlled on the Techno Parrot version. At least.
Well, so I can't comment on the controls too much because I was playing on this PC with a controller. I don't have a wheel in here, so I wasn't playing with the wheel. I do have 2 racers in the garage, and this weekend I'm putting that game on those racers. So I'll have more feedback at how it plays with a wheel this weekend, and I also want to see if I can link the game. Because you're supposed to be able to link it.
Well, in the arcade, you very much could. Yeah.
Yeah. So and on TechnoParrot, you have the IP addresses.
Oh,
So
okay.
I want to
well,
see.
that'd be
I want
great.
to see if you can link it.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely going to try that because I've already got the networking set up on my 2 machines. So
Right. And I got the whole setup going on too.
Okay.
So
speaking of racers, how's the orders coming along on the racer builds? How many you have in the pipe right now?
on racers, I think I have 13 in the pipe.
Wow.
Yeah, I have 13. I think I have 13 racers in the pipe. I have 13 racers. I made a post. I have like 23 Guitar Heroes.
Wow.
Hang on. Where's my post? I made a post. All right, here we go. I got 22 Guitar Heroes, 12 racers, 7 light guns, 5 megas, and
a partridge
14
and a pear tree.
I know, right? And I have 14 of the portable retro gun boxes, which is the portable version, the box itself with the PC inside of it.
Yeah.
I have 14 of those to go, but I have 2 in the garage that I built, so technically I have 12 more. I just counted those because I didn't ship them yet. which I'm gonna get those out tomorrow. I gotta pack them up and get them out. But also that I didn't mention, I have a virtual pinball that I've been working on for. It's the one that I was building from scratch. So I don't have the graphics for it yet. So it's still just sitting there as like a box with black paint on it, ready to go. Because I can't put the buttons on it until I get the controls, and I'm not going to put the guts inside it when I have to lift it off and move it around and bend it over and shit. Then I also took on an order for a replica Tekken, but it's a fighters only arcade, and I took that on. I think I want to say August. I took that on, and at the time I was also the guy called me at like the right time. I was working on my stand-up version of a racing arcade. So I have an order for that I have to do too. I have it designed. I just didn't put it to wood yet. And I did not get my Killer Instinct art yet, but I emailed it's Repro Arcade in Europe. Sorry. Repro Arcade in Europe. I emailed him, and I emailed him last week. I was like, hey man, do you have a status on this? Because it says 15 business days, and I'm preaching from the choir, I know, but I ordered it in April. Right. So it says 15 business days to ship. So I hit him up at the beginning of May, and he's like, I'm not doing anything right now because of the tariffs. I'm not shipping. I'm like, okay, like I'll just keep an eye on it. And then I emailed him last week. I was like, do you got another status on this yet? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I did the tracking on it. You're going to get it shipped out. I never got the tracking. So I emailed him today, and I was like, hey man, I just wanted to follow up. I didn't get tracking yet. Like, I would love to compensate you for anything that I need to get this shipped to me.
Yeah.
And he replied, he was like, it actually shipped. It's coming out on Tuesday. But I also ordered Donkey Kong Jr. graphics.
Ooh.
And he's like, I didn't ship those with it because I just didn't ship them in gloss. He made them a matte. And I'm like, dude, I'll take the matte. Like, these arcades got to be done in the next 3 weeks. So
Donkey Kong graphics, you got like what? Like it's a full.
No,
like,
Donkey Kong graphic is just
or like a full orange.
No, Donkey Kong graphic is just the
It's just the
logo.
image. Yeah,
It's just the image, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because the cabinet's blue, and I'm not going to end up painting it orange, I'm just going to leave it blue. And there's no damage to the cabinet. So it needs new T-molding, which I have, but I'm not going to pull it out of the garage and do everything to it until I get the graphics.
Yeah, just all one go.
Yeah,
right.
I actually kind of like matte graphics. They look like they hold up better.
Yeah, it also depends on to me, in my opinion, it depends on the game.
The material.
Depends on the cabinet. So like a cabinet like that, an original like Nintendo, I would go matte on it. Gloss is great, but it's like depending on where you're putting it.
But
if
at
the
the same
light
time,
is hitting it, then it's just like
when you got them all lined up, you're not seeing the side graphics.
You're not seeing it anyway. Yeah,
No.
That is true
I
too.
bought the side graphic for my Street Fighter, and I haven't put it on yet because no one sees it. So.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the thing is, if it doesn't show up, I'm just gonna do what everybody does to me, and I'll just open a fucking chargeback. So I don't give a fuck.
It's not funny.
Why should I? Right? Like, I'll just open a fucking chargeback. So it is what it is. But it's a dude in the community. The dude that owns it, I didn't realize it's Sean Misselbrook. I don't know if you've ever seen his name through the groups.
Maybe.
I've seen his name through the groups for years, so I didn't realize it was him that owns that or runs that. So it is what it is.
It's interesting though. Why does he say? I mean, is he overseas with this tariff stuff?
He's in the UK. He's in the UK.
Yeah.
So I would be paying that tariff. What's it, 50%? I would be paying that 50% charge coming in, which I don't give a fuck about.
It's like
I mean, it depends on what you're buying. Like you just said before, you'd say you'd compensate for the tariff just to get the fucking the product. So
right, because I mean, everybody else was like $300. This dude was the conversion rate came out to like 200. Okay. So and I think total I spent was $350 on the graphics with the Donkey Kong Jr. too. So that's not bad for 2 sets of graphics, I don't think. And Killer Instinct is the full graphic with translate. So that's not bad for an original. And it's either that or it's like, bro, if I don't get it, I paid you X amount of dollars, give me the PSD files.
Yeah, but nobody's
I'll pay my dude to do it. But yeah, that won't happen. That's wishful thinking.
Yeah. That's like I got that request for my Time Crisis art. Like, just give me the PSD. I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
Nope. And it's not. Yeah, just give me the PSD. Not doing it. That's it. Not doing the GRS stuff that I did. I don't give a fuck about that. But like, Anything else, I'm not doing. Like, you're not getting my House of the Dead control panel, and you're not getting my Virtual Cop control panel because I hired a guy to make that for me.
Yeah.
So you're not getting that. I'm sorry.
You guys like this is this is business. I remember just as a hobbyist, when I made graphics for my shooter cabinet, and I actually started seeing those graphics on other GRS cabs, like on YouTube or on Facebook.
Right.
And I was like, oh, at first it was like, oh, that's cool. And then somebody saw a picture of mine and they're like, oh, yeah, I got those same graphics. Like, no, motherfucker, I photoshopped those graphics. I put those together.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Now I feel a little like, no, I'm better than you. Don't think the same.
But you got to remember, Brad, no matter what, it is not your art. It ain't your art.
Dude, the Virtual Cop logo on the side, it's on Arcade Artworks website, right? But it's in pieces. The guy holding the gun, it's in pieces. I took each and every one of those individually, and I fucking Tetris that motherfucker together. It took me hours to get that right, and then I had to blend it in and make sure that it was going to look okay. It took me hours to do that. Like, you fuck off. You want that graphic? You go there and you fucking download it yourself and move it around.
And do it. Yes, do it. Just remember, that's not your graphic.
Or pay me.
I photoshopped out the side art on Aliens had the original Konami logo like covering half of it,
right?
And I had to like use the clone tool for like 2 hours to like erase Konami from it. So
that's hilarious.
Ray, on my end, the best satisfaction is Game Room Solutions has my Time Crisis art.
Oh, your name's all over it.
My name is all over it.
Yeah.
Little text
You don't understand how great it was. I was like, thank God I sent it out and I put Game Case Arcades and VigVP in like
you
5
can't miss it
capacity. And you you don't see it in the pictures, but it's like when you get it, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, when you get it, and now that you know I know where it is now.
It's
I can't miss it. I can't miss it at all. No, like when I'm looking at the kick plate, I'm like, I'm looking at your name. I'm not looking at the Time Crisis stuff. I'm looking at your name.
I love that.
Those are fantastic graphics, though, that you did with it. That was really good.
I know, but I'll be honest. So I'm doing a Time Crisis now, and I think the next one I gotta see if I could get like some sharper images. That's the hardest thing, right? So I have on the left side the red.
Yeah,
it's the guy from Time Crisis 1 and the guys from Time Crisis 2.
Right.
But it's like if you try to look up a high res image, it's not there.
No,
it's not.
Technically, like they're fuzzy. It's a little bit fuzzy. Not awful, but it's fuzzy. But
I mean, they're gonna be fuzzy. You know the trick, right?
I know a couple. I know about the whole rasterize and all that. What do you got? Convert smart object.
Control T.
Control T.
You don't know the Control T trick?
What does that like translate to?
Control T. It's for when you're moving the image around and you're making it bigger. Instead of all right. So there's 2 ways to stretch the image, right? But your one way is actually stretching the image where it becomes pixelated. The other way is stretching the image but preserving the resolution.
Yeah,
correct.
That's Control T
transformation tool.
Yes,
Control T transformation.
Right. That's technically something about oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on it. It's the same thing as if doing the convert thing.
Right. But it's easier because all you're doing is just clicking the image and then pressing Control T, and then you're just, you're hitting squares going up, down, left, right.
Though, even angles. On my end, because like I send the graphics guy, my images are 300 DPI.
Yeah.
Like
isn't very much.
They're fucking monstrous files, so it's still a little bit fuzzy in the end.
Well, you have to be 300 DPI.
Physical size can be huge. DPI is going to be like dots per inch, so 300 is pretty low resolution. That's why you get a little soft image.
Right.
But the physical size can still be huge. Like you want the really like crisp, like detailed, like that's like 1200 DPI or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, the side art on my Aliens art is also really blurry because I blew it up because I couldn't find good source material. Yeah. Mine actually came out of a photograph somebody took. So I took the photograph and I cleaned up the photograph and blew it up and tried to clean it up. But yeah, for that, I was using like definition tools and sharpening filters, and I did as much as I could with it. I still wish I had a better source material to work with.
Amazing.
Your Aliens artwork though looked fantastic. Because I made the replica version of it.
You did, yeah,
I did. I made a replica version of yours by request from the customer, and I picked your brain a little bit on it too because your buttons are yellow, but they look orange. So I wasn't sure if you got the orange ones or if you got the yellow ones. So I was picking brain. But your artwork on that you made on that is fantastic, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it because I
It
was,
looked-
I was
when
in
I-
theme, so
when I got it and I was looking at the artwork, I'm like, this looks very 2021. Like, you know, like you could tell like we were just like kind of like starting because
You're
that was
just
one of your
dipping
first cabinets you made. You
Yeah.
made Dragon's Lair, then the next cabinet
was
you made was
Dragon's
your
Lair and
shooter.
yeah. And
For yourself at least it was.
Well, Dragon's Lair, I photoshopped like the Dragon's Lair like movie poster and stuff like that. But for Aliens, I was like, you know, I wanted a theme. I had the sentry gun readouts and the motion tracker stuff, but yeah, it was you know, you're dipping your toes on it. Also, you know, like this form factor is not popular anymore. This tiny little 17-inch screen, the original, you know, Game Room Solutions
It's
tiny
22
cabinet.
inch screen.
Mid-size.
Yeah, it's like right. It's
Yeah.
22 wide,
It's-
right?
I don't sell a lot of those anymore.
No, I'm saying nobody wants it anymore.
No, they
yeah.
want 32 or bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, I've had a lot of requests for. Oh, excuse me. I've had a lot of requests for why don't I have a 50-inch or a 55-inch? And I'm like, because it's too fucking big.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a guy, Patrick Blank. He also did a game room cabinet like an exact clone of mine. And he started out with an exact clone, except he did blue T molding instead of green. But
Ooh.
he got tired of the small screen, so he chopped it off right at the control panel.
Oh
and
yeah.
Put a big screen on it, kind of like some people have done with Buck Hunter for the arcade one up. They just
Yeah,
put
I'm gonna say that's the arcade one-up hack.
Yeah.
yeah, but he just chopped it off like right here. And because when he did that, he did all new side graphics because side graphics started here now. So he got really cool side graphics, but he kept the graphics that I had here for like for the guns and stuff. So
Yeah.
There was a customer I had, and he was a Game Room Solutions customer, but it was because of me because he was looking for a gun cabinet, and then he seen the house of the deck graphics on the Game Room Solutions website when he was getting offers, and then he's seen it on my website. So I got like an email, you know, why do you have this on your website? And I'm like, I'm the one that made that type of thing, right? So he's like, okay, cool. So he's like, I can just like order your drive and everything that you buy, and then I can just build it myself. I'm like, yeah, that's the DIY thing that you do, right? So he did all that, and then he got the cabinet in, and when he showed me the cabinet, he ended up putting a mount and mounted a 50-inch TV to the front of the 32-inch cabinet.
Wow.
So it was on the outside of the T-molding.
yeah,
yeah,
He's like, the
that's how
screen
it's-
was too small. I'm like, oh fuck.
little front.
That's how it is. That's
Yeah.
the only way, especially with those enclosed cabinets. It's the only way you could do it. I remember there used to be a guy on like the Arcade One Up Facebook group that he was doing that whole conversion, but he was doing like Wiimotes. And it was
Yeah, that
just
was
It's
Gen
like
X.
the
That was Gen
Arcade
X.
1-Up, and then they put like a 32-inch screen in front of it. I'm like,
Yeah, that was the Gen X arcade guy.
whatever.
And we would make fun of him for it because
Still
he's
made me
doing the
laugh. Yeah,
Wii
'cause it was
mod.
like, he wanted like $3,000 or $4,000 for that.
Yeah, that's why we were
You know,
making
that
fun of him. We're
for
like, you're
Wii.
insane. I got kicked out of that group because of
It was
that.
basically just a Wii. It was a Wii inside of a cabinet, but
That's
Yeah.
it. And it's because the Wii at the time had like you were able to do 100 games on it with MAME when you modded it, but it's still a Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny. Like before you mentioned, the cabinet that I'm building now, I specifically bought a 2 terabyte NVMe because I'm like, even my shooter cabinet here. Granted, I have like Guitar Hero and DDR.
right.
I ran out of space. I couldn't even add like Mission Impossible to mine, so I'm upgrading mine to 4 terabytes. But the dedicated shooter, I have 2 terabytes, and now I'm right now with all the updates I just did. I think I'm at like 1.2 terabytes in like on games.
Yeah,
With-
runs away from you.
All like what
It-
you talking about on your House of Rock arcade?
No, I'm just talking
Just in
about
general?
dedicated shooter.
Just a
How do you
shooter.
have 1.2 terabytes worth of
So
on a Launchbox build?
yeah, it all added up. Everything
How many-
has added up. Like you just said before, like Mission Impossible, that's like a 30 gig game.
Yeah, but do you have like
Um,
duplicates?
No, the biggest thing that I have that as far as duplicates, I did my whole PS3 over.
Okay.
Yeah, the PS3 stuff
there's-
is huge. The RPC
There's a couple of
huge.
2-player games, so there's some guy that has the files for free, and I ran into an issue with that guy's files, and basically to fix it, I had to triple copy the file.
So yeah, but that's like 16 gig, 16 gig, 16 gig.
Nah, it's a little bit more. It's
Is
still
it?
that. Even if you do that, you're at 60 gigs just
Right.
on like PS3.
But I'm at 512 without Mission Impossible. So how are you at 1.2?
I'll be able to break everything down.
So how many
Like,
games do
I'll
you
send
have?
you the
Though?
screenshots.
I'm at hang on. I think I'm at 237 games now, especially since we got
I'm
Lethal
right
Enforcers.
I'm at 290.
How in the hell are you at
That is, but
1.2
Grant, keep
terabytes?
in mind, my number is also real like on games,
I get that. Yeah, so is mine.
not like flash games and all that bullshit. And
That's
my
fine.
my 290 doesn't include Wii. As
You
far
don't
as
have
a
any
couple
Wii
of-
on there?
I have Wii on it, but I don't include it in my 290.
So you have
Because,
over
like-
300 light gun games.
I have a little bit more than that, right?
What do you have?
Um,
What do you have for categories?
My category, so I have like on games.
Yeah,
That's like the main, but it's missing Wii. I don't put Wii on it. Then I have
okay.
like your regular stuff. So you're like NES, SNES, PS1, PS2, PS3, and then PC shooter. So it's like the Windows.
You got more PC shooters, don't you?
I have quite a and again, it's all real like on games. It's not
Right.
flash games.
So-
I can
so,
send
like-
you. I'll send you the list. I'll do
Yeah,
all that.
send me a list. So
I
I can-
do now. Recently, I did add as far as duplicates. I have a couple of like the PS1. I have like Time Crisis. I have Crypt Killer, and I have like Maximum Force.
Okay, so you got 3 extra there. That's just
Right. So
3.
if you want to count like a duplicate like that, I added that.
You don't have
Um,
duplicate Super Nintendo games, do you? Like you don't have
No.
Terminator 2, the arcade
We're
game
not doing a
from
oops,
Super
all we
Nintendo to
want
Sega
is
Genesis,
thing.
right?
No, Brad's over there doing something.
Right. What are you doing, Brad?
I'll send you.
we're not-
I'll send you my list.
We're not doing a oops all lethal enforcers.
Right. 11 different versions of it.
No. I have like Lethal Enforcers 1, 2, 3. PS1 had like Lethal Enforcers
The
1
Jesse
and 2.
James game. Yeah.
I have like Virtua Cop Elite Edition.
Well, you got that's the PS2 version.
That's the PS2.
Yeah, so I don't have.
Gunslingers 2.
You got Gunslingers 2 working? Oh, controller. You got Gunslingers 2 working, and it's working as a controller.
No, so I didn't want to do that. I did not go
you have
the route.
Gunslingers. You got Gunslingers 2 working as a light gun.
Yeah,
I might need that from you because I don't have that, and I was never
I'll take
able
it.
to get it to work as a
I
light
believe
gun.
honestly that's if it's PS2, it's just. But I think possibly I have one game. I got to make a note of it. Player 2 is the controller and not player 1.
Well, PS2 is usually single player anyways with light gun on PC unless you got Ray's hack.
Yeah, unless you're doing joystick.
Right. Ray's got
Which
a
I
hack
don't
where you
do.
can have
I
two
tried
players
to
on
mess
Time
around with
Crisis.
this bullshit joystick mode.
Yeah, I can't do that.
activated it. I did
So
not do
Ray gave me a version of PS2 because he beat the entire Time Crisis game. He went through it and beat it, and I have a version of PS2 that has Time Crisis 2 and 3. They're all multiplayer versions where you can play it with 2 light guns. It's split screen though, down the middle.
Right.
But the 2 guns work. We never got Gunslingers to work, or maybe he never tried.
No,
I could
didn't.
never get Gunslingers
I
to
just
work.
have as one player.
Gunslinger, is that the one? I played it. I think that I played that in the arcade. That's I was at that arcade last year, and it's the one where you have 2 guns and they magnetize together for like your super gun. I think that was Gunslingers. Ray was.
I don't think so. Gunslingers is like a Western style game.
Oh, whoa, Western style. Okay, no, it was gun something else then. Yeah. Oh, well, by the way, I just checked because I forgot. I currently have only 82 gun games on my shooter. You know how much space I'm using for 82 games? 224 gigs.
Wow.
For 82 games. So
I mean, yeah, they add up. They do. Without a doubt, they do. But
I did research.
I know Vic and I have like a majority of the same games, and that's why I'm like,
100%.
because we're both of our drives are pretty much no repeaters. So it's like that's why I'm like, where did you get the extra 40 games from or 50 games?
I'll send it to you. I will not be that other asshole that I asked. Hey, you have a game list? I'll send it to you. I just
do you know how to pull? Do you know how to pull a game list off of Launchbox?
Yeah, I think it was. I think Ray sent me how to do it.
Okay.
I just
very
spent
easy.
last week. I have to upload it. I was gonna upload it publicly, but I just did the whole Hopsu's Singe. That alone was about 20 gigs. So that
Singe?
Hopsu's Singe basically took Mad Dog McGree and made it like 2-player.
Oh, those are the American Laser games.
Right. So you got that.
And
then,
are they accurate?
yeah. It's
Okay.
amazing. So
I'm
it's
gonna
two
need that.
guns. You could do 2 guns, which is great. So we had like what is it, like Crime Patrol?
Yeah. Who Shot Johnny Rock?
Right. So
Yeah.
out of like those 6, I think like 4 of them are 2-player. There's 2 new games that came out, which is pretty cool. One is called Fast Draw.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played it. It's actually funny because it's a gun. It's a game. The gun is actually in the holster, like live in the arcade. And for you to play it, it's like when you see the enemy go for the gun, you're supposed to pull the gun out and shoot.
Nice.
So on
That's pretty
emulation,
accurate.
you have to hold the right button to keep it holstered.
Because they can tell there's a switch or
Sensor.
a sensor when you
Right.
go.
It's like it's a little. So it's funny. Like in the beginning, I'm testing it, and I'm like, I'm firing, but there's a cutscene, and the guy goes like, "You got to keep it in the holster," and it's literally him on this arcade machine. I'm like, "What is this?" And then I finally discovered I have to hold down the right button. There's also another one called Marble Vice. That's like another kind of like, Who Shot Johnny Rocket, where like,
Yeah.
and
They're
it's like
they're FMV games.
yeah, VHS. Captain Power, that was also another thing that added like
There's a Captain
16
Power light gun game?
They have like 8. There's 5 versions.
5 versions of Captain Power? I love Captain Power.
There's Captain Power 1, 2, 3, 4, and Greatest Hits.
Brad has a Captain Power VHS.
Do you really?
Yes, he does.
Educate me.
Do you
real
remember
quick.
where he used to come in like the G.I. Joe figure too?
Yeah.
Educate me though, real quick. How did this Captain Power work? You had a VHS and then you had a light gun?
No. Well, so
No, it was
VHS,
a-
you could get it on VHS, but it was a TV show. So it was a TV show. And by the way, I could go like deep dive. There's on it, but J. Michael Straczynski, who went on to do like Babylon 5, he wrote this show, and it wasn't necessarily for kids. It was like a rather mature stuff, post-apocalyptic future, like Terminator style, like machines looking to kill people and stuff.
80s sci-fi.
Yeah, it was sci-fi. But the studio wanted to sell toys. So in post-production, some of the bad guys in the show, like the robots or whatnot, they'd have these sections on their armor that were superimposed with this flashing, like something that was reactive to a light.
Yeah.
And you had these toys that, and also in the end credits, it would also do it. And the toys were basically they were spaceships. They were light guns. And if they, the sensor pointed at this flashing thing, you could get a hit. Or if you shot it, you got a point. But you could play this, and they didn't tell the people making the show that they did this. It was all done in post. So like the people writing the show was like, this is stupid. This isn't a show for kids. And then season 2, it only got at the end of the season 2, like literally like main characters like being killed off. And then it went to like the end credits. It's like, get your spaceships, kids. It's like, well, what the pilot character was just murdered by a murder robot.
I'm more surprised that you guys actually know this Captain Power thing. I was like, what? I have no
I had a
idea what it is.
VHS. Yeah, I had a VHS tape.
Like I said, I wanted to do it for the community. I wanted to upload my whole Hopsu Singe. It's about 18 gigs.
Okay.
And you'll
I
get
would also like a copy of Captain Power because I don't have any of those in my like cabinet.
yeah, it's like it's all of them. It's got the bezels. I got all the bezels for it. It's very cool. So like what Brad's saying, I loaded up this Captain Power, and it's just a video.
Yeah,
But
it's
if
FMV.
you shoot a certain part on a guy, you see like points.
Right.
And then if you miss, you get like negative points. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Now you didn't have the
Yeah.
points on screen. Your spaceship would either give you a noise that you scored or another noise when you were hit. And if you were hit like X number of times, their little spring mechanism and like your ship would blow up like the cockpit
Wow.
or something.
That's
so
cool.
yeah,
That's
and,
insane.
it was great.
Yeah,
but it was all just like superimposed over top of the existing show. But no, my brother and I, we grew up, spent a lot of time like out
like on a boat, like for her childhood, and so everything we consumed was in video. So we had
That's
the
so
video
cool.
tape of Captain Power, and here we are on the boat with this like 13-inch TV with our ship shooting at the
You
At the time, the
Chad would go
13-inch
crazy.
TV
You
was
put
like
Captain
huge.
Power on your aliens cabinet. You guys would go nuts.
I know. I gotta get a copy of that, and then I gotta have a chat over.
I will upload it. Yeah. So I said, so that right there, that Hapsu Singe replaced my Daphne, right? Was it Daphne? No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah, Daphne Singe. Singe is Daphne.
Right. So that whole thing, because it's also pretty cool now. I didn't know if it was. Is it like standard for Mad Dog McGree to be 2 players?
No, on the American Laser version for the Singe that I have, it's only a single player game.
I'm
And the
saying,
target is also off.
when it really came out, was there a 2-player option?
Oh, that I don't know.
There was turns. You could do 2-player, but it was turns. It
No,
wasn't-
this one is legit. You have 2 revolvers on the screen, and
Yeah,
you
that was
just
not
go
a
at it.
thing on Mad Dog McGree. No.
You know you know what? The Wii version was 2 players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was. Maybe it's a modified version of the Wii.
Maybe it's a modified version of the entire game. It's very.
Okay.
I was never into those, but I'm like, you know what? I could download it. Marble Vice like just came out, and also something called Gallagher's Gallery. That's another one. And this is all on like Emuline. So I was looking at it, and I'm like, what is this like Hapsu Singe that keeps getting like, you know, when somebody comments, so it brings it all the way back up. I'm like, what is this? And then sure enough, I see there's a couple of light gun games.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I heard a lot of chatter about it, but new emulator, where I'm just like, because I think I chased that a couple times in the past with like, what is it, the Play emulator that did some really poor emulation on like Cobra the arcade and Time Crisis 3 the arcade version. Like that emulator technically worked, but everything was running at like 5 frames a second. And I was like, I just spent like a week downloading and getting this worked out, and I'm like, and they're like, oh no, that's as good as it is for now. I'm like, well, that was hardly worth it. So
It wasn't worth it.
The worst part with that is it's all bad files, and it's all like the minus, you put the resolution, minus full screen, minus GI.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is, but I got it. So I
Bad
got
files.
the Supermodel used to be like. Supermodel used to be bad files like that.
Brad used to be the king of the bad files. Brad taught me how to make a bad file.
Wow.
Before
Yeah.
AHK.
Now, like, so for example, recently, you could do it to your drive, Joel. I have now on my shooter cabinet, I have 2 Techno Parrots strictly because I have one version of Lethal Enforcers 3 that's 1 player, and I had to put another Techno Parrot to have the 2-player.
Oh, for the split?
Right. So I have for on my list, I have 2 Lethal Enforcers 3. One is 1-player mode, and the other is 2-player mode.
Yeah, fuck that.
I don't mind it, but I'll be honest, dude. As far as the Techno Parrot side of things, you would have had to go into Techno Parrot game settings and then change from 1-player to 2-player.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it. I'll just add another Techno Parrot. I'll just make it. It's like 1, 2, 3. So it's cool. I have a couple of those. Like for example, Time Crisis 4. I have 1-player mod and then 2-player mod.
Yeah,
that's where you get the extra games coming in. Are you counting that in the
it's like
290?
40 like that though. I'll like I said, I'll send you the list.
Yeah, but are you counting that in the 290 though?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's probably where your games came in. So that you have 2-player versions of games that also are single-player versions that we've been playing single player on for years.
Actually,
finally have a second-player option to it.
I'll be honest, it's only like 3 or 4 games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's not a lot. Like for example, I have
Did you get BlueStacks going?
No, fuck that.
Yeah, because that's like 97 games.
So I'm
it's got to be your PC games.
I'll add it, but like I said, I'll have it as its own separate list.
Okay.
But I would have to now sit and actually play 80 fucking Android games, and I tested 5, and they all were ass.
Yeah, so fuck that.
So that's exactly it. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Somebody also uploaded, like I said, there's a Flash. Somebody did their whole Flash games, and it's like, I don't know, like 120 Flash games. I could simply add it, but I'll put it as its own separate thing. And when I make my video for it, I'm gonna put like I have 280 real light gun games plus 18 Wii games plus the like I'm not gonna advertise it as like 600. It's not 600 because there is not 600 light gun games. It pisses me off.
I
when
do
this
like
guy is claiming that.
It's the games that aren't light gun games. that
It's
piss
not
me
a light
off.
gun game. Nope. Nope.
The Clone Wars for PS2 isn't a light gun
No,
game.
no, we're not.
It
doing
is
that.
not a light
I
gun
don't
game.
I don't even like that people call Star Wars Trilogy a light gun game. I know it's an on-rail shooter, but
Oh,
it
I
is
hate
not
it.
a light gun game.
Yeah,
Stop
no.
it.
It
No.
doesn't even
At
work
least-
right half the time.
At least technically it semi works with the light gun. But
It
it's like
does,
you can't count it as a light
But
gun
it's
game.
not a light gun game.
It's not a light gun game. Nope.
So to
That's where,
answer
like,
this
I had an
Messiah,
argument
though,
with a
Adam,
guy. I had an argument with a guy, and I was like, if that's the case, where basically if we're gonna label point and click games, I might as
hate
well
those.
put DOSBox and put all of the kids learning shit and call it a light gun game. Like, no, we're
you
not
might
doing
as well, because those are all point and clicks.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, no, we're
I'm
not doing that at all. Hell
Oops,
no.
all solitaire.
Hell no, right?
Imagine.
Right? Oh my god, playing solitaire with a light gun?
Minesweeper.
What did I miss? Start over, Billy Wright.
Right.
American
To answer
Zombie and
Messiah,
50
though, in American Zombie, the fourth Musketeer is at the club doing belly shots. The real
Yes.
kind, though, out of the belly button. He
Yeah,
brought
is-
it back
Is
tonight.
he partying with his plastic surgeon
Yep.
again?
We
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
him to go live from his phone while he's at the club, doing his thing, but he wouldn't.
It's all right. He's living life. It's
He's
all right.
he's really at a club though. He really
Yeah.
is. He's in.
Is he?
Ray
He didn't
lives
send us a
that New
picture.
York City lifestyle.
The
Yeah.
last picture we got was a whole fucking Italian sub that he found down the block.
Which it's like, okay, Ray, why is it an Italian sub?
Ray's home.
Did you get it from the Italian deli?
Ray's
Or is
home. He
it-
just sent us a whole thing about his karaoke.
Is he home? Oh, he ditched us.
Oh,
for
he said I'm
karaoke?
discussing copyright shit with the karaoke rep.
Wait, what?
Oh,
He's doing some
time
Copyright.
he's dealing with the guys over in China right now.
This brand is incredibly responsive, and I want to get everything settled before I import. Oh, I see. It's that new Android thing he's working on.
Yeah.
No.
So that doesn't have the malware on it.
All of his
I'm right
hands.
now. I'm waiting for. Do you guys understand how they're doing this Technoparrot free game release every week?
Yeah,
how
so
is
it's the wheel.
Yeah.
So Reaver's
I know,
just
but
doing
like,
the wheel.
are people picking these 4 games?
No, so
No,
Reaver puts every single game that is subscription into the wheel,
Oh,
and then he just spins it.
oh,
And then if it lands, and then whatever game it lands on goes into your choices to pick. But it's also, he was doing a vote system, but I think he stopped that and he put those back into a wheel. So, I mean, the last one that I seen that went back into a wheel. That's how we got Cruise and Blast. It landed on Cruise and Blast. So that Cruise and Blast became free.
So
and then
I'm
so
really
did-
waiting for
He did
Walking Dead.
He did 3 wheels in one stream on that one. And we ended up with
That's
3
wrong.
racers. We got Harley. Oh, no, we ended up with 2 racers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you said Harley and Hummer.
Harley and Hummer. Hummer was already free though.
Okay.
But I always thought Hummer sucked, but I finally threw it on the drive. Harley is actually a really fun game. I wasn't playing it with the wheel. I was just using controller, but it was like full speed. It felt really good. Again,
Wait,
first
isn't that the
experience
same one
playing
that's
that
on
game.
Supermodel, though? Isn't there a
What?
Harley game on
There-
Supermodel?
There is, and I would believe that this would be the sequel to that.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a Sega game; it's a Raw Thrills. But neither was Cruisin' World or Cruisin' Blast. That's a Raw
Right.
Thrills game now, and it was a Midway game,
yeah.
or a Williams game. It was a Williams game. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So I mean, the Hummer game sucks. The Harley Davidson game is really good.
As far as gun games, it's Walking Dead. That's like left.
Ghostbusters and Walking Dead.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Yeah, but Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters
like,
game.
yeah.
I
Oh,
do. I like
you
Ghostbusters
guys-
game. I
did
know
you
it's
guys
a
see
ticket
the,
game at the
people
arcade,
are-
but I don't give a fuck about tickets at the arcade.
No.
I'm
yeah.
just blasting them with the shit.
Did
so-
you guys see Time Crisis 5 working networked?
What
No.
do you mean we're getting network? So you can play 2 players?
Yeah, it's 2-player, but you can't do split screen. You have to actually do local network. Kind of like
Oh,
two-player
I mean,
racing.
like,
But that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
real
right
cool.
now-
You can build
somebody-
a replica Time Crisis 5 arcade.
Yeah, somebody did a write up. You can't use Technoparrot. You have to use a standalone. And they
I
did a
have it.
write up, but apparently some of the config files there was typos involved, so nobody got it working. Somebody's just like, oh, it's typos. But not to call anyone out, but like, because I hate this shit. It's like, oh, I got it working. Private message me for my drive, and I have it on there. Oh, screw
private
you.
message, I'll sell it to you for $100.
Yeah.
Now, I think the last thing, while you read that comment, the last thing I was looking up was apparently Ghost Squad Evo.
I don't think
It
it
doesn't
got.
work.
I don't think it's playing right still. No, because there's a
Well,
ghost
somebody
thread.
said that the subscription-based one works.
Yes, but
That's like Elf. It's kind of like Elf Floater or something.
the newer elf floater. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why they did that. That one was on Technoperiod subscription for years, and they never did anything to it. And they finally released it off subscription. The game never worked right, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, we got this newer version of it that we're going to put on this one." Like, why didn't you just update the one that we had? You know
what's really like?
I don't know.
I like I said, I was going down the rabbit hole. Like I never had House of the Dead X.
I don't have that either.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I have it because it's like it's free and it's all right. It works fine.
Right.
Yeah.
I played it with my
House of the
kiddo.
Dead. I didn't like House of the Dead 4 Special,
Right.
which was technically a different game, but
I did
originally-
add that. I
but
added
like
that.
that was a game that like had a seat that you sat in,
Right.
and then it spun around to a different screen.
Right.
That was the whole
Which is-
gimmick.
So my only thing about that, though, in all honesty, House of the Dead 4 Special is technically a totally different game. Like
It
when
is, but I don't
starts,
like
It
that much.
starts like I think you're in a car. I'm like, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
doing?
Well, it's
You're
because
totally
it's the same
thrown
engine
off.
and the
Yeah,
same,
I'm like, what-
but it's like a different level. But you know, because it was that weird. It was only in Japan. You went in like it was like a ride, and you went in your car, spun around. It was like jump scares. It spin around. There's a zombie on the TV
Yeah.
behind you and stuff.
Yeah, when the game starts, it's like a whole bunch of warnings, and the guy in the car, it's like keep your hands in the car. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Don't
House
stick your
of the
hands
Dead
outside
X.
of the universe.
House of the Dead X. I was like I said when I was doing I'm still doing it. I have to make videos. Like I have to literally record videos because there's no Jurassic Park arcade raw thrills video on like Emu movies.
No,
So,
it's
like,
not.
I'm-
Yeah, you got to make your own.
I'm like literally recording, so that's all cool. So I loaded up House of the Dead X, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So I clicked the first one, and the first one you actually use the light gun, and you're shooting these fucking apples. And the second one, you could go down. It's actually utilizing the pedal, and basically it's a 30-second mini game where you're squishing bugs. So you're hitting the pedal.
Sounds
for
like
like
House of
30
the Dead
seconds.
point blank.
Yeah, that's neat. They're using the reload pedal for squishing bugs, though.
Right.
Now I gotta see now Time Crisis 5 on Retro Shooter if I can get two pedals working.
I haven't tried that yet.
I have to attempt that.
I have it now. If I'm using it on, if I'm using the standalone PC version, which I have, that works with the two pedals. With the what do you call it? The retro shooter pedals, that works. With
Really?
those.
So how does that? How do you map that?
It's just I'm using the AHK file. I didn't fucking make any adjustments to it. That's
You
the
just
one that
translate the
that's-
keyboard command to those. To the
either
pedal.
Brad made the AHK or Ray made it like
Yeah.
4 years
I'm just
ago.
trying to understand what player 2 pedal or reload is.
It's set to keys L and R.
Yeah,
Is it?
It
The-
is.
it's
The standalone is.
the standalone is all
I'm
keyboard,
using the standalone. Okay.
and the AHK that I wrote just translates those keyboard commands into your various gun for IR buttons or pedal buttons. So,
I gotta take a look. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
that's
I-
the one
I-
thing I haven't tried.
and then like change weapon is like mouse wheel, but it's also T.
But- No, wait, hang on. Let me rephrase the because it's the left and the right button on the gun. Unless you edit it to be the L and the R, you have to edit it to do that. So it's the left and the right button on the gun. So it's a D1 and D2.
Those original the standalone Time Crisis 5 is actually keyboard commands that you have to then map to the gun buttons.
Right. Then when I meant the gun button,
Right.
it's D1
That's,
and
that's
D2.
the one
Yeah.
it used JConfig.
Yeah,
No.
no, sorry. Was it JConfig?
No, there's no
I have
JConfig on
one
that
as
one.
JConfig,
It's all
but then it's
it's
also
all
AHK.
file because 5 is start or 5 is
Yeah, no,
coin
Time
is-
Crisis 5 runs native in Windows. It doesn't
Right.
use a JConfig. So
it does not. No.
Yeah. and it just had that's why you can there's nothing there
But-
to translate to remap the controls. You just have to know what the keyboard commands are. Like Shift T or Shift number 1 brings up the on-screen crosshair. That's not something you set in like a JConfig. That's like built in.
Yeah, but the problem is that if you don't have one of Ray's versions, oh fuck, I totally just lost my train of thought. I totally just did. Like I totally just went my thought over here about
Well,
Time
you
Crisis
think
5.
I was going down the rabbit hole of doing Duck Station 2-player. I gave up on that shit because it needed
That's
the
controller based
joystick
too.
mode.
Mhm.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't do the joystick.
That
mode
whole
shit.
joystick mode shit. Even right now, it's funny. I have Wii on my cabinet, 2 players set up. So that's the mall shooter But like on
Right.
this cabinet I'm building, I can't get Demolished Shooter to hook.
Because you're not
Players
using
don't wait.
because you're not using Dolphin 5.
That's what I was going to say. The standalone Time Crisis 5 version, unless you have one of Ray's AHK files for the standalone version, it doesn't output to 4K. Ray had to make an adjustment to the AHK file to put it into a 4K mode, similar to what we do with Star Wars BattlePod
Yeah.
in 1920 by 1080 when it's in 4K. Very
Yeah.
similar script, because if you're
Doesn't
playing
the
on a
overlay
if-
stay
but-
in height in 1080 or something when he scales it up?
I'm not sure exactly what it does, but I know that the thing that I know is that when you use Ray's script and you're using 4K, your gun is shooting correctly. When you're using the 1080p script or the normal script on a 4K TV, your gunshot is off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what scaling is in effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Actually, total flashback to like the AHK keyboard translation controls for Time Crisis 5. I'm like, wait, this brings me back, and I remember
What is that?
AHK. Vic made a video on that before I knew him, and I got a shout out from Vic for my Time Crisis AHK. And I remember like, oh, this big YouTuber just called me out. On the Time Crisis thing.
I'm the man.
You're recognized. You're recognized. What's going on with this Artemis thing? Is this a joke? I don't understand.
It's She-Lion.
Oh,
Hey!
I would have never known. I would have known.
I know it's her alias.
But yeah, I can't like Duck Station. I didn't go into that. I'm not doing none of that joystick mode. I'll be
No.
honest, and I feel really bad because Ray's not here. But doing this build,
Wait, do you feel bad that he's not here, or do you feel bad for what you're about to say?
I feel what I'm about to say, bro. Because in all honesty, man, for example, I used to have games that I didn't want to put because it needed more than the trigger, the reload, and now with like the retro shooter, the little analog stick,
Right.
Operation Wolf, that new one that came out,
Yeah.
that first mission, it
You got that
translates
on there.
pretty well with that. that analog stick.
I never added that game because of the control factor to it.
If so, the only thing is, again, AHK, I set up like the D-pad up because
Sure.
it needs space to like move,
Yeah.
and it's like that one little add-on. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty solid. But I'm still not gonna do fucking analog stick, and you're gonna be walking around with the analog stick, and then like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I put the Wii games that use the analog. I put those back on my drive. For
See, I didn't do
Retro
that.
Shooter only. I only did it for the retro shooter though. I didn't do it for any of the other drives.
I didn't do that only because like I
Because-
feel like
Yeah,
You can play-
there was a wireless analog stick. It looked
Yeah, like a nunchuck.
without
Yeah.
wire. That somebody was like, "Oh, you could use that. You put this on your build, and you can put in a bunch more games." I'm like, "I got enough games. I don't."
yeah,
need
it's like
Got enough
if
games.
I have to do
Sometimes
third
less is
person
more.
and run around, I'm not doing that. Like that.
But
That's like a limit. But
have you ever,
basically, like I think the extra, I guess you could say like the extra buttons on the joystick, or I should say on the gun itself, makes it like it's better. And
It's nice to have the option, and it's built in. It's not tacked on. But I know what you're talking about because my build started with aim track. So when I transitioned to Gun for IR, I kept with a trigger and 2-button setup.
right,
That's it. And then if I needed anything else, I could leverage the buttons or the joystick on my control panel. But I
Right.
didn't want to like add pedals or new buttons. So even when I
Right.
made my own Gun for IRs, I could have put more buttons on it. It's just trigger and 2 others. That's it.
right.
I just want
It's
to take
more like, I guess like the convenient, and I'll be honest also, just the convenience of 5 and 1 and 6 and 2 on the guns.
just with
It actually like I'm literally looking at the cabinet I built for this customer. I'm like, I didn't need to put start coin. I didn't need to put up and down because the analog stick. I'm like, oh man, I could have like made it like simple. Vic is looking at Brad's nipples.
it's Friday night, baby.
It is Friday night. But yeah, I have to do it. I'm gonna do it for the community. I'm gonna put that whole Hapsu Singe, and I would love to see you, Brad, playing it. And this is a reliving childhood with Chad.
No, I will have my brother up here, and we'll be 8 years old again. So
And it should be plug and play. It should be literally just.
I've heard
Start
that
that and
before. So
I wonder where did Joel go?
I probably took up. Well, I don't know. He's probably hit the head and didn't tell us. Because, you know,
Maybe.
I miss Ray. He would just go in there and leave his microphone on, and that was
Ray would just get up. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on, and then just go.
yeah.
Ray's doing some pretty cool stuff with that Android box thing and his whole karaoke thing.
Yeah.
He may have made a breakthrough with something that we
I
don't
keep
know
forgetting
about.
karaoke is his day job. So
Oh, I appreciate that, Shuline. Thank you. My reels, my reels are short and quick. It's honestly, it's just so much easier to make shorts than to do a whole production.
yeah.
And you know what's really crazy for me to say, but like my views on reels and shorts are way more than like a regular
Way more.
YouTube video.
But it's like they don't count. Like
Yeah.
so they like for thousands of views on produced videos, you need millions of views on shorts for them to count.
Right.
But it's funny. I like taking a short and then putting it simultaneously on YouTube and TikTok and watching which algorithm adopts it because it can only be one. I'll get
Right.
60 views on one, and the same video got 5,000 views
Yeah.
on the other. And
Yeah, it's
they're
never
okay.
like together. They don't ever go in sync together. Yes, I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
So,
He's looking for a picture of a naked guy. Sorry, Vic, I can't hear you. The echo in your Grand Canyon is reverbing. Is it really? I think Brad has a bigger arcade. Like,
yeah, but I have sound dampening.
than I
This is
do.
like carpeted down here. You have hardwood and low ceiling, so it's making.
It's
like
actually funny because I would have to kind of I'm probably gonna work on like changing like camera angles, but there's like another. I'm probably gonna get rid of the Switch cabinet soon. I don't really play it. There's really no point to
Yeah.
the Switch cabinet. To be
you know what,
honest,
Vic?
but,
You got to get one of these. You got to get one of these cameras.
yeah, that's you know what's funny. So somebody on YouTube has like this whole new. There's a new company. It's your Osmo, but like PTZ professional fucking like bot thing, and it's like a $4,000 camera. And I'm like,
Oh
do
yeah,
I-
the big expensive gimbals. Yeah,
like, do
yeah.
I need it? So like that's the one thing I want to work on. Like right now, see, like I have my camera here, but my screen is here. But if I
Right.
put the camera here, I won't be able to see you. Like I'll be technically looking at you. I'm gonna try for the next stream. I'm gonna put my camera here, but if I'm actually
Yeah,
doing a
I've got-
gaming stream, I can't put that there. It's in the way.
So this is my camera, of course, is here. I'm looking here, like this.
Right.
This is the screen, so it's just over it.
Right.
So
I just go back because every time we do streams, I'm not looking at you. I'm literally
Yeah.
looking
No,
inside of
no.
you right now.
you have to look into my eye, Vic. You have to look.
Yeah,
right.
I can see you now. Switch cabinet. Messiah, you never seen the Switch cabinet? That is my Konami replica Switch cabinet.
It's a
So that's got
badass
a-
cabinet.
It's got a Nintendo Switch in it. I'm looking. So I did this one. I probably won't do it again. I probably made the control panels a little too steep. So honestly, after about an hour and a half of gaming, my wrist hurts a little bit. But I'd probably sell that one. The vertical cabinet, I'm really playing that a lot more now. So the vertical cabinet's getting love still. But the Switch cabinet, not many Switch games coming out. And now, like Nintendo with the whole hacked scene, apparently they're bricking hacked modded Switches, and I've yet to update mine. So
They didn't say anything about the MIG switch though.
Well,
I
not
don't know.
yet.
We'll find out if
I-
that works next week.
This is the DJI Osmo 3. Joel's got one.
I have to
That
see.
Osmo was very good at
You got
tracking.
the Osmo too, right? But you have an Osmo. Yeah.
Mhm. It does the whole track thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Osmo is solid. It's been tracking you very well, and not to mention the video quality on it is very good.
Yeah, and unlike when I use Fancy Cam, I don't have to use OBS Virtual because it goes into webcam mode the second you plug a USB into it. So
Yes, that is. It was good. It was good catching up. This is
Yeah.
awesome. What was our last stream? Was it like last month?
Oh,
Before you went to Star Trek?
it was 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, something like that. So, but
This
yeah,
is good.
busy
Doing like
May.
a nice once a month.
Right. I know. So
Once a month hangout?
we've got summer finally coming up. I've got I was mentioned to Joel earlier, I've kind of gotten a little back into the itch. There was a while there I was just having trouble like feeling motivated, but now these little to-do lists are like each one's a little rewarding and it's like a little dopamine hit. And I'm like, oh wow, I want to do more. So I'm gonna be like
I'm doing a chassis swap on the monitor for Street Fighter, which I'll be doing I'll be doing all the dial in. So I've learned, guys. I've learned how to do mess with the horizontal coils and how to mess with all the potentiometers and get the pin cushion set. So I'm gonna really try to dial this in, and then I'm gonna be moving on to doing more pinball stuff. I actually saw Retro Ralph doing a great pinball stream, and I think I might want to try to do an Alien stream where I set up multicam on the back box, on the little LCD in the play field, on the Queen Topper. So every time I'm shooting an alien, the Queen Topper's like going crazy. I thought it'd be a lot of fun. It's going to be like a mess of wires, and I can't wait to try it out. So
yeah, I have to do that too. I have to get back into pinball streaming, but yes, pinball streaming is a thing. Sheline asked me, "Do I promote reels?" I don't. I'm cheap. I don't pay for shit. I just post it, so I'm not doing nothing promoting wise. I did see something. Somebody did recommend that, especially if you do TikTok, post it at like 8 a.m. on the dot, and I've been trying to do that. So, as far as Instagram for me though has slowed down. I'm not really, unless I really don't get the pop up on the follower side of Instagram, but it's mostly YouTube and TikTok.
I got rid of my Instagram.
Yeah.
So I just deleted the app. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook, I just deleted the apps. So I only got TikTok left, and then I got Messenger, and I have business app for Facebook. That's it.
TikTok is just wild because it's just like what Brad said. It's like one time you'll get like 10 views on a great video, and the next time it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What did we just do?
A random video of me playing Trilogy has 180,000 vieys, and like, the fuck?
Which is crazy, and I can't get like fucking 1,000 views on my Trilogy videos. So fuck you guys.
I have a feeling like I gotta test. Joel, you used to do it. You used to do the templates. Sometimes the template videos will give you like
those view
boost, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know.
I was doing the cap cuts. That's what I was doing.
The cap cuts. Well, I call it the templates. Like you have like the whole like
the cap cut video editor. I did a couple of those. They can be fun.
I started doing the GRWM, the Get Ready With Me one abbreviation, because every time I'm going through, all I see is like Get Ready With Me. People are just getting ready, and like they're all girls too, of course, right? My TikTok is full of titties, video games, and pinballs, right? And ass. There's always ass, right? It's always ass, but they're constantly getting ready. So I started doing that because there's like 1,000 people watching them. And they get tons of views on that. So I'm like, all right, let's get ready with me then. But I'm playing arcade games.
Yeah. Or you're
I don't know what happened. For some reason on TikTok yesterday and like the day before, I just had a whole bunch of people posting like, I made $20,000 in 1 month by doing, what was it called? Like they call it clipping.
Where they did solitaire and I made 20 grand.
And they clip it. And then I'm like, why am I getting all this shit? What is this?
It's
like,
dumb, isn't it?
Fuck that.
It's random promotions and random people advertising on there is what it is.
Yeah, everybody's like, I'm on a faceless. Somebody now like, that was. If you guys want to talk real quick about it, did you guys see that whole VO3 software? That whole new AI?
No,
I
didn't even hear about it.
Like it's like VO3.
Brad's like, I work for the DOD. Don't talk about this.
Whatever it is, dude, it will make it. It is AI to the extreme. People are making like movies or like music.
Okay, the AI movies. Yeah.
It's like, and it's kind of crazy because somebody was like, "This looks really real," and our like elderly side of people are gonna think that like this shit is real.
And they can really
that's a VO3.
Yeah. Yep.
It's insane. I saw a video and a guy made it where it was like a doctor was like, eating rocks is healthy. You should eat rocks every day. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And
this day and age, like they might have said that. So
it is, but it looks amazing. It looks real. I'm like, wow, this is odd. But I'm surprised people in the chat at least know what we're talking about.
We got geeks in the chat, man. That's what we do, right?
Yes,
that's what we do.
It's a lovable community. We keep everything positive. That's just how we have to do it. I saw Sheline's video, the updated one of the Nova Blast.
That's a good video, right?
Yeah. Honestly, the first one, oh man, that was like insane. Like the quality control, that's like mind-boggling shit. And
he's not the only one that did something like that happened to, though. I came across another video. There was this week I came across the video, and it was posted a month ago, where the dude got the Unicone, very similar to the same thing. His screen had a huge gouge in it, and he didn't know until he turned it on that he's seen the gouge, and then he couldn't play the games or do any of that. And then something was wrong with his control panel too, so he's waiting on a new control panel, and he's waiting on a monitor.
That's rough, man.
Right?
It's like the idea was there, and I'll be honest, seeing She Lion's like video,
it's too risky.
Definitely, dude. It definitely like must have scared people off. People must have like, money back. I don't want this anymore. Brad is over there racing with his Pac-Man screen.
Or it made people speak up, one or the other. You know, like the people that did order, they're finally contacting the company, and they're like, "Yo, you need to fix this stuff."
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I wonder if Brad could put Road Rash on that.
Ooh, running on a pie?
Imagine.
Oh, that would be great.
Well, Road Rash wasn't an arcade game, so it would be like a
but
right?
still, that would be cool because he could use a break as the punch.
It would be interesting.
Yeah, dude, Road Rash 3
money
was
that I don't have in this. I could put a PC in there, completely just multi-kit the F out of it.
But don't do that though. Don't do
but
that.
I can't because like it's perfect condition.
Yeah, no, it is a thing. Now, Brad, real quick, how does a game like that right now? If you start Hang On, it's just one race? Like, how does it?
No,
how does it go?
You have a timer, and then when you hit checkpoints, you get time extensions.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of like the old racers. Like pole position was like that, outrun was like that. You know.
So is it?
Well, you can hit a finish line
finish
though in the game.
What's that?
Is there a finish line?
Yes, there is a finish line. It doesn't seem like it, but there is. And if you die, you can see how close you got to the finish line. So
I'm just trying to figure out, like, for example, if I walked up to it and I put a quarter in, how long is that quarter going to last me?
Well, it depends on how many checkpoints you can hit. There's really a question of like, you're going to hit the checkpoints and you'll get more time unless you wreck. If you wreck, then you're probably not going to make the checkpoints, and then you're going to.
Got it.
So
that's Messiah. That's trilogy. He's got the sit down trilogy.
You're gonna have to go over there, right?
Yeah, you got to
go take a walk.
I have trilogy.
And he's got the real Star Wars.
I love it.
And we're trying to talk him into buying BattlePod. We were trying to talk him. We had this whole thing for like 4 months about Brad buying the deluxe version of BattlePod. This is like in our group chat of Brad buying BattlePod and how we can fit it,
how easy
going to get it in.
Not the flat screen one. There's a
the deluxe.
Not too far from me. There was the deluxe, the full
the
pod,
environmental,
and it was like $7,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But the problem with it wasn't even where am I going to put it in the house. It wasn't going to fit through the door. Like it wasn't going to fit. I'm actually. I did the math of literally taking the glass sliding doors off the frame, and then it was still like not quite going to clear it.
Wow!
And it's in 3 parts.
But tomorrow there are 2 versions of the flat screen version of BattlePod that will fit in your house.
The flat screen will fit through the door. But I got a little thing in my head because I can play BattlePod emulated. We all can, or emulated, but cracked, whatever. But the pod experience, which you can't even really get in David Buster's anymore, because if you do find one, it's the flat screen version. But the pod experience is just so like amazing. And I mean, like $7,000, that's like pinball money,
Yeah.
But but it's not just that, it takes up a whole room. I remember I almost bought a 6-man once, and I did the measurements. It would take up an entire room for a 6-player X-Men.
Damn.
And
that's
BattlePod is just as big as a 6-player X-Men.
6-player X-Men is definitely like a 10x10 room.
And you can't even put the reason why it was a whole room is you can't even put an original 6-man up against a wall because one of the TVs bumps out the back. One of the TVs has a bump out. So you can't put it flat up against a wall. So it's got to be off a wall, pretty much in the middle of a room.
Now, I love real quick because you segued into X-Men. I don't know if you saw it. I posted it on my Discord. There's somebody that did like a fan remake of X-Men.
Oh, I saw that.
And it's kind of interesting because they enabled a mode where you could have 4 or 6 players and the other players are computer characters that are
Yeah,
helping you.
like AI, like helpers. Yeah.
Very interesting. I got to download that and try.
I was
it.
like, why? I first saw the header. I was like, hey, fan remake of X-Men. I'm like, why? That's already the perfect game.
right. That's what I said. I was like, what?
So,
There
That's
it is,
actually not a badly
Brad.
good machine.
yeah, I was looking at K Fox's flat screen, and it doesn't. Once it's all in place, I'm like, you know what? It isn't. It doesn't take up that much space because you guys have seen his arcade. It's like a narrow arcade, and he fits it in there. So,
You can definitely fit that in your house. You're
But
definitely
you know what?
going
When it
to
comes
2 or
to
3
flat
arcades.
but when it
I
comes
gotta
to a flat screen battle pod, like, well, wait a minute. Then I'm back to wait a minute. We're not podding it. We're it's flat screen. Like B.
No,
he
you're-
built
you're-
his
you're-
own, and it's amazing.
I
Because,
get it, but you're still potting because you have the correct controls to do the pod.
You do have the correct control. The controls are amazing. The
Right.
controls are very
I'm
cool.
looking at that cabinet though, and it looks like you're never laying back. For you to reach those controls, can you lay back? It looks like you're not laying. It looks like you have to sit like up.
No,
like,
the controls actually come off the panel quite a bit, and then they're off, and then they're angled towards you. So,
right.
I got a video of me and my brother playing it. Give me a second because I want to bring it up because I have FPV where you can see the controls.
Let me see this
Right, hang
of
on.
this exact cabinet.
Yeah, the flat screen. We were playing the.
Only because I'm looking at that and I'm like the seat. It's like I understand you can move the seat up and forward. I get that, but like looking at it, it's like I feel like it's so like far.
Okay, here we go. All right, hold on.
Got a lot of nerve putting that seat like that.
Here we go.
But are you playing both of them?
Yeah, well, my brother's playing one. And I'm
Chad's
playing
on one, yeah.
one.
The twin is there.
Oh, because you filmed the
Okay,
multiplayer.
so
I never
yeah.
seen. I never seen this video. Whoa, Takonda. Oh, this is the level that we don't have.
Banana. Right, this is the episode 7 level. Wait, sorry, my resolution just went to crap because my internet doesn't like that I'm streaming to you guys while also.
Well, your internet sucks.
I hardwired and everything
It's
too.
the same thing on mine. It's like well, you're not using OBS virtual cam, but
Look at that.
The frame rate
See,
is
now I
many
want
cameras
to
you have set up on this?
But this is funny. God damn it, Joel! Can you stream this? I'm going to send you the video.
Yeah, send me the link put in the private chat.
Right, hold on.
I got
Stop
you. Just put it in the private chat.
send link.
Give me the link in the private chat. And,
That was actually nice because at least in your video, you're actually like you're actually able to control.
Brad, do it
Yeah.
on YouTube, not in Facebook Messenger. Just
Just
private
Oh, you
chat
mean
on the
the
right.
StreamYard?
Yeah,
I see live chat where all.
keep going down the right side. Comments, banners, media.
Private chat. I know I can do things.
You can do chat.
Yay!
Technology.
This is funny. This is during quarantine, so there was like no one there. So I was holding my phone, but I synced it to a camera that was on a tripod. And at the end of the video, it cuts out because like security came and kicked us the F out for recording.
Wow.
Yeah, but if it was the tripod that like freaked them out, so. So this
Wow.
is the iPhone, and then I'll switch to both. But they should be pretty synced up. But see, I'm leaning back in the chair, and everything's nice in arm's reach. The controls.
It is. Yeah, it is.
You see Chad's.
Yeah, Chad is actually leaning back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're leaning back, but the controls come back off panel and a little tilted back there.
So you're playing it comfortably still.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very comfortable, and also the screen is like right there in your face. So it's what is it? It's probably like a 40-some inch screen, I think, but a 49-inch screen, maybe not even that much. 42.
Oh,
inch.
dude, it opens up on the water.
Oh yeah, well it's a scene where they're zooming in and like
Oh yeah, that was a badass scene.
yeah, that's
Because they
that's-
show the side view of it in the movie, and it's like, ooh.
That was cool.
So on the linked version, this is the whole thing to show off the 2-player link. So you see the little green icon? That's Chad on my screen. And
Wow.
so we can see each other. And but you're still kind of on rails, but you can combine fire on enemies and
That's
take
cool.
them down faster.
Very cool.
You can cross the streams.
Yeah. but the controls are great. The controls are a little different than the pod version. It's like a different shaped joystick than the pod version had, but the throttle is the same. And but the pod version doesn't link. So the flat
No, it's
screen
only
links-
this. It's only this
Yeah.
one.
and the Takodana level was on both. It was an add-on.
Oh, okay, it is on both. Okay.
Well, I'm mad as hell, man. I want to play the Takadana level.
Yeah, and what gets me has been 10 years, and no one's dumped the Takodana level yet.
I'm gonna go into the next Techno Parrot stream and be like, "Are we ever gonna get the Takadana level on BattlePod?" I don't care if he blocks me. Block me,
it was
motherfucker.
just a downloadable update that people,
You asked the question. Yeah.
But that was 10 years ago that level came out, and we're all still using the same ROM dump that somebody stole in 2014.
But watch, you know what? I bet if I ask that in the Techno Parrot chat and then they bring it out in like a month, right? It's gonna be a subscription-based game.
Oh,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
it'll be the new.
Like,
Ultimate.
there's a new version of Star Wars BattlePod out for you guys, but no, you got to pay for it, fucker.
Be sure to sign up on that Patreon, Telegram.
Right? Have you
This
guys
is actually
seen?
not too bad. You right now are actually getting a decent gameplay for like $1 or whatever you paid on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is right where they kick us out. I think I cut the video just as they came to ask us to leave.
I forgot you took the creep shot of the girl.
Let's go.
The guy.
Which I talked about
Oh, he's doing a charity stream.
He is doing a charity stream. I forgot all about that actually.
Weren't you? You were on his stream our last stream, right?
Yeah, I was May the 3rd. Yeah, I was. I came on. I streamed with you guys, and then I went to his stream right after. And then we did a giveaway. What did we give away? We gave away GI Joel's Outrun 2 Riser.
Yes, the Riser. I remember
that. Did you guys do you guys follow Gio at all on Facebook or on YouTube?
Gio?
Yeah, Giovanni right here. He's in the
Oh,
Wizards
yeah,
show.
yeah.
So he was live last night with Messiah, and he was basically playing DDR, but it was like a Pac-Man version. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I missed that.
It's like Pac-Man with like DDR control pad to control.
It kind of like it's hard to explain, but if you go on Messiah's stream and watch it, it's something like the first like 30 minutes. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was definitely pretty cool.
For me, I think my next like community stream is gonna be when they reveal Harry Potter. Harry Potter pinball coming out in like 5 days.
I'm not excited about that one bit.
I'm not either, but I'm always excited for pinball. So, and JJP doing, they pulled a Stern, and now they put Harry Potter ads on all the machines.
Did they?
Really?
Yeah. So I quickly ran. I put my machines on, and then fucking Harry Potter trailer is on it.
That's crazy.
JJP has never done that, and now they're doing like just like how kind of Stern is doing. So I'm like, this is interesting. And I didn't get like an update. It's just like there. I'm like, how the fuck did they do that?
Al's in the chat. I want to give Al a shout out here. He has been the most patient motherfucker I have ever met. So Al got a few things off me, a few little things, but not little things, right? So Al got my pinball drive off me a while ago, and he brought to my attention that a lot of the games didn't work on it. So I went live a few months ago, or maybe a few weeks ago actually, and I was redoing the pinball drive and testing games and adding games to it too at the same time. Like I went through all the games that were on the pinball drive. I did it live, and I was adding games to it too at the same time and testing out new games for it. So shout out to Al for pointing that out. And if you look over my shoulder, it's running my new pinball drive on my 4KP. All right. So shout out to him for that. And then also he ordered a portable gun box that we moved over to just a Windows-based PC, and got him that. Redid it for the retro shooters, and then he's also been waiting for a mini PC for his Send and Light guns too. But the longest part of it is that I was going to do all that at once because he ended up sending me PCs back so that I can redo it and put back into it. So shout out to him because he's going out like Monday.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I got the drive all set, got that all going for him. Can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah, man. The gun box is very, very interesting. I had some guy that messaged me before, and he's like, "I want a pedestal with guns, but I want to move the pedestal." So I'm like, "Retro Reapers, you got to now get 2 sets of sensors." And the guy's like, "I don't want to do that. I want to just take the sensors off my TV now." And I'm like, "You don't want to do that." I was like,
"You don't want to do that,
dude." So that's what I told Ray. Ray hooked me up with those 2 holsters. Pretty solid stuff. And then he gave me also the IR sensors. So Ray should definitely do a bundle with that. But yeah.
Ray's gotta, he's gotta watch what he does with certain things too. So
Ray's fine.
and shit. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's good. I don't know, man. I'm a little buzzed. So,
All right. I think it's a good segue because you got Gallagher guy up, so we could probably go and raid his and call it.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
fun. We'll get together again in give or take a month or so and check up on projects and whatnot. So in the meantime, let's anybody who's left, let's go bomb Gallagher guy's stream.
let's go raid his stream.
Yeah,
See you
we'll
guys.
raid him.
Adios.
Everybody, good night. We'll see you guys later.